Thomas.
Have the best looking lawn in the neighborhood with help from Capital Tractor. Web Bobo here. Don't miss our buy a mower, get a blower sale going on now. Buy any Kubota mower on our lot and get a Stihl handheld blower absolutely free. Kubota and Capital Tractor, Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
1819 News.
The project to expand and deepen the Port of Mobile is about to enter its final phase. The Alabama Port Authority says the final phase will be completed in the first part of 2025. The whole project first launched in May of 2021. Dredging has included taking the materials over to the Dauphin Island Causeway for future use. Once completed, the port will have a 50-foot depth where cargo can be delivered, and the vessels will be lightened to go on to more shallow ports. Port Authority Director John Driscoll says this project will bring even more economic development and opportunity to the city of Mobile, as well as the region and the state. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Where I was living was not a great place to live anymore. I began to pray for a place to go, praying for all of these things that a 9-year-old would want. I wanted horses, big house with a bunch of people my age. I wanted parents. I wanted a mom and a dad. Before I even prayed it, the Lord had already answered my prayer with the Big Oak Ranch. Who would that 9-year-old be if she never came to the Big Oak Ranch? I would be trying to fight for survival instead of fighting to break a cycle.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A husband and wife were arrested by Dothan police on Tuesday after a man was shot during a robbery. Ty Kwan and Veronica McMillan are being held without bond. Investigators say that the couple tried to steal a cell phone from a man in Dothan when the man fought back, and he was shot with a handgun. The man was injured in the back of his head. He is expected to make a full recovery from those injuries. A new Safe Haven baby box is up and running at the USA Health Children's and Women's Hospital in Mobile. The original sponsor of the bill is Donna Givens. She spoke with WKRG News about the purpose of the baby box, saying that if a new mother is in a bad situation and doesn't know how to get out of it, she can safely place her baby anonymously in this baby box, which has a 24/7 alarm to alert hospital staff. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm Joey. This guy over here is Eddie Bader. How you doing today, Eddie?
I'm doing really good, man. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm doing really good, too. Why are we both in such good moods?
Well, for me, I had a delicious lunch, but it's my wife's birthday, and I surprised her with birthday cake.
Oh,
flowers,
happy birthday, Susanna.
And lunch, yes. Number 29 for her, 29.
You ever sing the Toto song, Rosanna, but you change it to Susanna?
Now, you know how corny I am, so yes, I've done that, and Susanna, I've done...
Do you pantomime when they bring in the horn section?
I try, but by then, usually she's over it, has left the room, so it's just me. But I would
Especially,
like
be careful though when you do that. It looks
yeah,
like you're
you
doing
don't
something
want a
wrong.
whole lot of guys around for sure.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of hiring a mariachi band
A mariachi
to follow
band.
someone around on their birthday.
Okay, like, and what would you have them singing?
Oh, whatever. It's up to them. They just got to stay there for a couple hours and annoy somebody on their birthday for just follow them around, especially in an office setting.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Oh, okay.
You don't think that'd be great? In your birthday?
No, I think
coming up?
it's a fantastic idea.
Isn't your birthday coming
No,
up?
I would have them do Spanish in Spanish language, the entire album of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from
That's
Mars.
not bad. That's
Like
not
just
bad.
following somebody around 5 years.
But have you ever heard Hotel California in Spanish?
Oh, that's a good one.
That
Yeah,
one-
Flamingo Hotel California.
Dude, one of my
do some
favorite.
Eagles.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I would love that. That would be hysterical.
Yeah, or just all day. Stacy's mom. This is mom.
At what point you're going to find out how much does it cost to just make them leave?
Or wait, what's the movie Saving Silverman? Where so it's Neil Diamond everything.
Now that would be a dream for me. Follow me around and sing Neil Diamond. Oh, I'm going to join in many a times. I'm just going to stop what I'm doing and join in.
Well, I think it's a great idea for a birthday. In fact, do that on my birthday.
All right. Any Iron Maiden? Is that what you want, following?
Yeah. Number of the Beast. That's what I want. I want Run to the Hills. I want Iron.
Exactly.
I want Number of the Beast. I want Hallowed Be Thy Name. I want all of it. All right.
All of it.
And they have to be dressed like Maiden.
Oh, but of course.
But doing the mariachi
Yeah,
stuff.
but the mariachi style.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
100%.
You got to find a singer too to pull off Bruce Dickinson level.
It's going to be hard, but I think we can do it.
I think so. Anyway, there's plenty in the news, but we've got a holdover who normally calls the show before us. But I like this gentleman. His name is Clark. Hey, Clark, how you doing?
Hello, Mr. Clark. How are you?
I'm all right.
All right, I'll get you there. I still had signal and I held over. Yeah. So, do you read American Thinker, Mr. Clark?
Not that often, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay. So this morning, a fellow named Sheldon Bart had an article up on American Thinker. I thought it was just fascinating. The question is, how did Kamala get to be the candidate? And started out talking about, I'm sorry, I'm a veterinarian and we're going to have a barking dog
It's
for
all
about
good.
1 minute until I get
fine.
moved, okay? And then that'll be better. Anyway, yeah, so how did Kamala get to be the pick? And you start out, she was the first one out of the last primary process, didn't get a single delegate, the most unpopular vice president ever, and works out every time she speaks, right?
Right.
And then what? 15 minutes after Joe Biden is out, she's got the nomination and she's being pushed forward as the candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, both Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi had floated the notions of having open conventions or a mini primary. And nope, Kamala's the pick. So given all that, how did this happen? You know, Joe Biden was goaded into debating Donald Trump. This is the earliest presidential debate we've ever had, conveniently allowing time for a replacement. And everybody around Biden had to know how that was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was done for the sole purpose of terrifying the base and getting them on board with getting rid of Joe. Now, why did Joe have to go? It wasn't because he was incompetent. It wasn't because of his mental decline. It was because his poll numbers would not allow another steal. They could not do a steal and make it credible with the way he was going to poll. So, once Joe's infirmities were exposed and the base wanted him gone, he wouldn't leave. So, what did they use to threaten him with? If it was the 25th Amendment, Kamala Harris is the vice president.
Right. She'll be the president.
And the vice president kind of has to be the initiator for that 25th Amendment. So did Kamala get a call from Nancy Pelosi or Barack Obama or Chuck Schumer? We need you on board with threatening him with the 25th Amendment. And then maybe Kamala said, okay, we get him out, what happens next? well, we're going to have an open convention. No, we're not. Wait, what do you mean, no, we're not? Well, we're not doing the 25th Amendment unless I get to be the pick. Now, did it happen that way? You can't prove it, but I'd like for somebody to give me a scenario where she got to be the pick and that wasn't it.
No, I think that idea, who did you say the author was there for American Thinker?
The author was Sheldon Bart.
Sheldon Bart,
And
I think
I feel
he's...
great shame that he thought this up before I did.
I think he's batting 1,000, though. I've been saying for years, Clark, that if you read into Niccolo Machiavelli's Discourses on Livy, I think it's book 72, chapter 4, it says, cackle until the old man dies. And I think she has been biding her time for quite some time. And it makes sense that she would strong-arm the party. And I think also you would have seen the intersectional identity politics car crash. That would have been immense if they hop over the first black female vice president and give it to somebody like Gavin Newsom, who looks like a lacquered desk came to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, if I thought Kamala thought this up on her own, I'd be impressed.
That's a good question. Don't underestimate her. I wouldn't underestimate her.
Well, I don't want to underestimate her. But, you know, the other thing that we have to keep in mind is the left is not hiring her to be Ray Kroc at McDonald's. They want her to be Ronald McDonald at McDonald's.
Yes.
You know, if she's in the Oval Office, they don't really expect her to be setting policy, making decisions, et cetera, et cetera. They need a placeholder of a front man, if you will, or a front woman in this case. And I guess that's just where we are.
Yeah, and I think that's why they picked for her running mate the Hamburglar. I mean, the guy's a spitting image.
Yeah. That poor guy, I swear. Everything that comes out of his mouth. And, you know, did you hear him over the weekend? When they're not after me, they're after my kids or they're after my dog. And then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What's going on with his dog that I haven't heard about?
Well, because he posted one photo, look, me playing with Scout. And then he posted another photo, ooh, look, me playing with Scout, and it's different dogs. And I just want to say to Tim Walz and everybody out there, welcome to Twitter. I had somebody on Twitter say that my voice is fake.
It is.
My voice is fake?
Yeah, this is not your off-radio voice.
Yeah, it is. It's how I talk, yeah.
I will add some bass.
I don't care if
I think you add some
I don't
bass
care
over
if
there.
Clark is on the phone. I don't care if there's anybody out there listening. I will whoop your ass right now.
I will get your voice.
I will hurt. I don't
I'll
care
adjust
if
that
it's your
bass.
wife's birthday. I don't care if you're going to get
I'll
me a
adjust the bass
mariachi
and
band.
everybody will hear your true voice.
It's called microphone processors.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Well, no,
let's
I do
just say
know that
criticism
you have
comes, all right? That's my real voice. I was telling a true story about my granddad, and they criticized me. It's just, it's obscene. It's ridiculous how obscene it is.
Yes.
Well, thank you for carrying me over. I appreciate the time.
Thank you, Clark.
And y'all have a good time with the rest of it.
Thank you,
Thank
Clark.
you, sir. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Let's see who's on line 3 here on there.
All right.
Who's this?
Hello. Guess who?
Oh, early. You usually call on Friday.
Well, it's Thursday and Friday. My days off, and that's my 2 days I had to actually work some serious overtime for my job.
Whoa.
So I couldn't call you Thursday, Friday. So I'm gonna make it up. I'm making it up, baby.
Mm.
Okay. First thing is, what is this big old rumor going around that Kamala had a Southern accent? That was not a Southern accent. I don't know where the hell these news people think on how we talk down here in the South, but that wasn't even close. That was more like she was in Detroit. Okay.
Yeah.
She was talking like some serious urban accent there, dude.
I was thinking more Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, that was my thought.
I say that's a chicken hawk there, son.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and did you see that people have been mashing it up with a particular performance by Robert Downey Jr.? You remember that?
No.
Remember the movie?
Soulja Boy's pretty good.
Remember the movie Tropic Thunder?
No.
You
I didn't
don't?
see that movie.
Oh, you need to go
Soulja
watch
Boy.
it on your day off right now.
You would laugh from
But
beginning to end.
here's the
I'm afraid.
mashup. But
Yes.
let's listen together.
Number for sick leave.
Why are you talking like that?
You better thank a union member for paid leave.
You know, back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antonio.
Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about
I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, do some crawfish.
Oh gosh, you know, Joey. You
Yeah.
know, I looked at her pictures when she was young. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and see how she slept her way to the top. You know, I said she must have been one hot piece of booty. But I looked, I just didn't see it. How much liquor is there for sale in California?
Well, I'll tell you something I learned a long time ago, Soldier Boy. When I worked at Hyundai, women inside the fence look a lot hotter once you're inside the fence. But one outside the gate, that's a whole nother score. Usually 2 or 3 points. One way or the other.
The score goes up a little bit when you're outside that fence.
A 10 Hyundai is a 6.7 outside the fence.
Hold on. I'm going to give into my male pig tendencies. I'm going to type
I'm just
in
telling you that-
young Kamala Harris. No, the thing about like the don't fall in love with women at work rule is a very good rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like you're tired from the day. So I typed in young Kamala Harris.
Okay.
Or Kamala Harris.
What did it show? A pig? Picture of a pig or a horse?
No, I could see it.
No.
Yeah,
I could see it.
After how many drinks?
0.
He's a lonely guy.
Stone cold sober.
Yeah, but how's AOC looking these days, Joey?
Soldier Boy, I love women. I have all their albums.
I do. She doesn't twist my bells. Okay, put it that way.
Okay. I really don't want to hear that phrase ever again.
You give the opportunity, she probably would. Just saying.
She probably would.
Yeah, just saying.
She just want to move up.
Is this why Vladimir Putin has endorsed her?
Yes. Did you see that?
And Liz Cheney on the same day. Liz Cheney and
was a
Vladimir
gimme,
Putin
but
endorsed.
Vladimir just killed me when I saw that. Yeah.
Eddie, what's the story? What's the story about the vice president, Mr. Weiner, Mr. Draft Dodger / whatever Valor guy?
Yeah.
Is his brother actually supporting Trump?
Not just his brother, his whole family. His
entire Nebraskan family.
They took a front porch picture of the family with T-shirts on, walls for Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, that's worse than the Kennedys.
And they look like Cornhuskers.
They really do.
Mhm.
Yeah, they fit the part.
A strong forearm.
Yeah. Husky women.
Broad
I
back.
can't believe. I love he played the victim card. Oh, they're picking on my kids now. They're picking on my dog. They're picking on my garden. They're picking on my car, my tires. What is this guy? Grow a pair. Maybe if he would have gone into some combat zones, he would have had a pair. He didn't have a pair to bring with him. That's probably he didn't have it in his mobility bag. That mobility bag got a list of items, that you have to put in there.
That
and
wasn't on
evidently
there?
it wasn't a pair for him. And it wasn't a pair there. I tell you, I was like, nada. It just kind of concerned me that. But Joey, so what's the next thing going to go on, Joey?
The next shoe to drop?
Well, yeah, basically. I mean, what's the next cluster bomb going to drop?
I think
What's
it's,
gonna be?
of course, the debate, depending on how that goes. But after the debate, a week from the debate, there's going to be the sentencing of Donald John Trump.
Oh, it's a week after the debate.
Yes.
Wow.
And I think if they go heavy-handed, like they can't help themselves, it's going to play into Trump's favor.
Of course it will. But if you're Kamala and during the debate, do you go, you give them a hard time about it, even behind the scenes, just hey, you're going. I can see they love me now. Hey, look for
Did you see him in the town hall meeting? He was talking about. He said, "Yes, he was talking there with her emotional support dog, vice president candidate there, and they had their speech. Their interview was like 15 minutes. He says, "How long have I been talking now? Oh, 38 minutes. Okay, I got him beat."
Good Lord.
He's just sitting there. How long do we have to talk here? He said, I don't need no cue cards. I don't need no freaking.
Well, and he really has done the podcast circuit, like folks that aren't deep into politics. I mean,
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah.
So you're way up with cocaine more than anything else you can think of.
Cocaine will turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying?
just that clip of Trump should get him elected.
That's true. I mean, he said, let's get the scoreboard. He says, Kamala, 1 interview, 0 town meetings, 0. Trump and his vice president candidate, JD, 38. Big difference in the score. So, Joey, let me ask you a question. Do you think that actually that, we always talk about the dumbing of America, Okay. Do you think that coincides that people are so stupid to vote that they can control people like this by saying stupid stuff?
Yeah.
Of course, that's how it works.
100%.
Most of politics now is brainwashing operations, including our so-called side.
Yeah, both sides. It's total both sides.
If that was true, I could probably won student council president when I was in 7th grade. I came in distant third, and there was only 3 people running, okay? So I should have played the identity card and everything. And Joey, I have to correct you again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
She's a person of color, okay? Was that Siri? Is that Siri that answered and said she was a person of color doing significant things?
Alexa. It was Alexa.
I could not believe when that happened. But then again, I shouldn't. Like my dad used to say, "Are you really surprised, son?" I'm like,
right.
Not really. Then why you ask the damn question for? All right, guys.
Appreciate you
giving me 3 minutes.
Yeah, call back tomorrow. You could argue with Craig.
Oh, I enjoy that.
Yeah, I know you.
I know.
Do. Both of you.
It's good. I'll be honest, it's kind of good.
Yeah. I actually look forward to it.
You're
I
right.
might even lose a little sleep waiting for it. Oh.
Okay, go take a cold shower. Stop twisting your bells, all right? Let's get out of here.
See you, Soldier Boy.
Go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Erica.
Hey, Erica.
Hey, Erica Thomas of 1819 News. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and Craig is on vacation this week, so I hope he's also taking a break from radio.
He is. I
sure is.
forgot
I remember
about
he said
that.
that,
I
yep.
just always, counted on him, I guess.
Yep.
You had to take time
Yeah,
off.
he definitely needs the break every now and then, so I'm happy for him to be able to step away and not have to worry about the day-to-day, but, yeah. Y'all won't be hearing from him tomorrow, probably, but next week, he'll be back.
Now, tell us about the great news that came out today about the Mountain Gateway pastors who had been held in prison for so long.
Yeah, this is a story I've been following since the beginning of the year. In Nicaragua, the Mountain Gateway pastors and 2 of their attorneys were arrested after some mass evangelical events that they held that brought in hundreds of thousands of people. And up to this point, Mountain Gateway had been operating in Nicaragua with no problem, and actually had great communication with the government there and approval for all that they were doing. But when they realized that there was a little bit of pushback of the government from these people, and they didn't want them to hear the word of God, they bogusly arrested them on charges of money laundering and organized crime. And those people have been in jail ever since. So they've spent almost 9 months behind bars in Nicaragua, which obviously we have no idea how that would be, what that experience would be like, but we can only imagine it would not be cushy.
Right.
So the founder of Mountain Gateway is actually from Pinson, Alabama. His name is John Britton Hancock, and we've talked to him several times. I talked to him this morning for a long time, and his words are so powerful that I got chills while I was interviewing him, and then again when I was writing the story. So I cannot wait for that to come out at 2 o'clock. Be sure to go to 1819news.com, hear exactly how he found out about these 11 pastors and 2 attorneys that were released from prison. And they are among 135 total who have been put in prison as part of active religious persecution. So, I mean, it's very powerful to hear his words now. He never lost faith in God. He knew that these people, even though they were sentenced to up to 15 years, he knew that God was going to break the chains. And that part of the story is extremely powerful. So I really will say, please go read that, 1819news.com. And right now we have a story up just about the release in general and what the White House had to say.
Yeah, because I know a lot of folks are trying to get them out and praying for them to get out. And so that's just wonderful news. Can I squash the wholesomeness, though, because it reminded me of a joke I saw on TikTok this morning. It's a son walking up to a father. I'll do it with Eddie. Hey, Eddie, Jesus loves you is a great thing to hear in church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Jesus loves you is not a great thing to hear in a Mexican prison.
No.
Yeah, you might.
Too soon.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh man. Well, in other news, I did just go by the gas station. I'm actually in East Alabama this week, and I went to the gas station and I was looking for some quick lunch, so I picked up a Hunt Brothers pizza. And have y'all ever heard about the Hunt Brothers pizza story?
They've got a great story, yeah, but their pizza fresh out of the oven is good. But
I mean, I love this pizza. You know, it's like a beacon of hope every time I'm starving when I'm on the road. And it's always just enough, that one slice. And it's affordable. But on the back of this pizza box, it says, place God first in all we do, be a blessing to people, trust God to meet our needs, strive for excellence. And
well, that's good.
I had Googled them after that, and I thought it was just really incredible for a company to stand up, you know, for their beliefs in that way. So I just wanted to point that out while I was on the air today.
No, that is beautiful. I haven't had Hunt's Brothers in a while. Really, this is your beacon of hope on the road?
Oh, yes. I mean, you know, when it's already made. You don't have to wait for it. It's less than $5, that's a whole meal for less than $5. I mean, it's like $3, I think. So, yes, of course.
Well, I'll admit I'm more of a gas station hot dog guy.
What's wrong with sushi?
You are.
Gas station sushi.
You are playing with fire today. I will hurt you.
Good. Be on sale, too.
Anyway, there's another great story for the state. The final phase of Mobile Harbor, the widening and deepening project, is underway, right?
Yes, they just announced yesterday that Alabama Port announced that the sixth and last phase of that project is underway. Now, when you say the last phase of the project, this is going to be something that will be continually done for many, many years, because they will have to do maintenance dredging. And that's what we've been hearing about in the news a lot lately, is the concerns over the maintenance dredging. Because when they widened the harbor, they got a lot of that dredge material out and used it for beneficial use projects. They even, you know, created an island, that sort of thing. They helped restoration of Dauphin Island after the hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
So they want the maintenance dredge material to also be used that way. But this is about the main project where they're deepening and widening the port. And this will allow larger ships to come in, larger vessels to bring in trade items. So it's going to be a really good thing for not only the local economy, but also the nation.
Amen. And I think it really is going to be great for the state of Alabama. And down the road, especially, we'll start to see the benefits.
Yes.
And then another great development, and I know these have been going up slowly but surely around the state, a Safe Haven baby box was just put in Mobile this Wednesday.
Yes, and I have done several of these stories. We actually covered the legislation that made this possible when it was still being considered. State Representative Donna Givens, she's from Loxley. She's the one that introduced the initial legislation to allow these baby boxes to be installed. So before we had these, mothers had only 72 hours to surrender their babies, and if they were unable to care for them. And in that process, they could only do that at a hospital. So these Safe Haven boxes are installed at different fire departments, and there will be more installed statewide. But this one that opened yesterday is at USA Health Children's and Women's Hospital. They paid for their own box. They said, you know, we feel like we have a need here. This is going to be a great thing. This is saving lives. Already in Alabama, we've had 3 babies surrendered in these boxes. So it's just been a life-saving thing for these children and the mothers who they just feel that they're unable to care for their babies. So they want to do something, and now they have up to 45 days to make a decision. So you don't have to give birth and then make a quick decision. You can take time with your baby, you know, over a month to decide what's best for your child.
Well, but it is a beautiful thing where people are doing slowly but surely, as tough as the situation might be. You get a good family out of it and life out of it.
It is, but I also want to say, you know, this is the last resort for moms. But statewide, there are also dozens of organizations that will help a mother, will pay for diapers and formula, from the get-go. So there are other options other than placing your baby in a safe haven box. While we're thankful for this opportunity for mothers, it's very important to look into those different, pregnancy centers that help the moms through their medical. They help them, and they help them for years, and they stay with them and they counsel them. And so if anybody wants to find out more information on that, you can email me, and I can send information based on where you're located. My email address is erica.thomas@1819news.com.
Well, I really do appreciate the time, Erica. And did you forget it was Thursday? Because I kind of did too.
I forgot yesterday was Wednesday. Does that count?
Yeah, that does.
It's just kind of confusing because the week,
It is.
it's a short week. We started on Tuesday, so it's been confusing me. But today I was sure of it because I had to come to Anniston, Alabama, something I've really been looking forward to.
Well, great hearing from you. We'll talk again next week. Thanks, Erica.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless. Again, that's Erica Thomas, editor-at-large there at 1819news.com. We got a few comments rolling in. Larry says, the best show on the radio.
I like old Larry.
Yeah, we know who that is. We're not going to reveal his full name.
He's
and
a
his
great guy.
handle. Yeah, oh yeah.
Solid.
M. Hogan says, voice is definitely AI. Well, actually, I sound like this off air.
See? Coming out, getting closer. We're getting closer.
It's really high up here. Welcome into the show, guys. I'm Joey. This is Eddie over there.
It's getting closer to the truth, Joey.
Let's go to E.T.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I just had that up there.
Who's this on line one?
Well, this is Sam calling from.
No, I was pretty
County.
close.
Oh, hey, Sam. How you doing?
See? Sam
How you
heard you.
doing? Y'all sound fantastic. I'm doing very well. And that's what got my ear, guys. This is the real Joey Clark. I've known Joey a while. I respect him, like him, and him and Eddie, they're gems here in the radio, on our local radio.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You're a treasure.
Yeah,
You
it
should be
is.
buried.
Now, here's the deal.
Don't make me tell another Mexican prison joke.
Eddie,
My joke. Yes, sir.
One day he's going to snap on air. Okay, I feel it. One day Joey is just going to go crazy. So, he fits the profile.
Yeah, but I'm packing tonight. What am I worried about? Getting a clean
Well,
shoot.
Joey.
Yeah, you might be
y'all-
packing,
y'all-
but one of these days I am just gonna go slap happy.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. We got it on film. Clean shoot.
I was about to have some fun with that. We'll just stop that right there. The only other thing I had, y'all kept talking about the gate, and girls and dates, and I just had a Fort Clayton from Panama flashback. If a young soldier was lazy, all they did was walk out the gate. There were these girls hanging around. They called them a gate date.
Ooh.
And, it was just, always a crowd, day or night, around the front gate of the Fort Clayton there.
Sounds like what we call here the lot lizards.
Man, I'm just, it always amazes you what you'll see. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you, Sammy.
Appreciate it, Sam.
Yeah. Real Joey Clark. Oh.
Well, I appreciate it. Like,
whatever.
No, but I'm like, ooh, that one. It was because I posted the thing, the true story I told about my dad's dad. My grandfather, the last words he said to me were on election day in 2020. And somebody goes, who's this dweeb with the fake deep voice?
I haven't used that in a long time.
Who's this deep with the fake, with the whack ass ad? I'm like, wow.
Wow.
So I had
It wasn't me.
I had to like it. That's some good smack
It wasn't
talk
me,
right
but
there.
one of my secret accounts. But dang, that's a good one.
I was like, that's my real voice in a true story. Hey.
I don't know.
No, but it's like, welcome to the internet, folks. Like, this is how it works.
But now, will you agree? The more hate you get, kind of the better you're doing.
Oh yeah,
More
no, that
traction you're
Daryl
getting.
Cooper guy that Martyr Maid, who was on Tucker talking about World War II.
Yeah.
And of course, the usual suspects are calling him like a Nazi apologist because you question. I'm not. He has to convince me. He has barely made the case that Churchill's the chief villain. I don't buy that. In fact, I do live in a world where not everybody can be a saint and a martyr. Like, there are heroes.
Yeah.
And that's actually how you overcome evil in the world. And often heroes do brutal things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my mindset. But it is interesting to think, any point in history, did it have to happen that way? And I think the obvious answer is no, it didn't have to happen that way. What could have happened if it happened differently?
Well, let me ask you this. Are we speaking and teaching German today?
We are not.
And I think Churchill did what he was supposed to do. Sorry.
Yeah, what if they made peace after they take France?
We're speaking German today.
Oh, yeah, no, and seriously, this is an
literally.
interesting game to play out. So they come up with the rocket technology and probably the atom bomb first.
Yeah, we're speaking German today.
You think so?
Yep.
Though Hitler was very aware, do not let, we can take Russia, he thought. We could take, Britain. We could take France. We could take your underpants. No, it was, he knew America was putting so many men and material in World War I that he didn't want the United States to enter the war. But of course, after Pearl Harbor, he declares war. So also keep in mind, I don't buy also this idea that Hitler's a rational actor. I think the man, not dumb,
right?
But I think he also
drug addiction.
He deteriorated more and more and more when he was in power, and part of that was drugs. I think part of it is just power and his insanity.
Well, let's say they did develop. There wasn't peace. They did develop the bomb, and we got hit.
Oh, right,
dude. When everything's on fire, it's a lot easier to come to reality of, all right, I guess we'll be speaking German from here on out.
Oh yeah. And it's just, how awful those days were, though, is what can make your hair stand on end.
Yeah, but look at the strong men that it developed after that.
Mm-hmm.
Now look at us.
Well, I think the real, World War I is the more interesting in the sense that everybody knows the story of World War II for the most part.
Oh, yeah. Well, our age, yeah.
What I mean by World War I, there's so many different angles you could take. In particular, there's the angle of the aftermath. And I think there's something to the idea of if you explode millions of men to death, gas them to death, do all these crazy things, the people that survive that hell on earth are not going to be right in the head.
I got to agree with you on that.
And so it essentially set the stage for the Bolsheviks and communism and that spread, but also the fascists that weren't just in Italy, and the Nazis are a unique sort of fascism in Germany. There was plenty of fascists in France. I mean, there's a lot of radicals that were created out of World War I. And so when you see that aftermath, you're like, oh, how did this radicalism come about? You're like, yeah.
You see where it came from.
Yeah. And can you imagine, how cynical the average person is about war these days?
In general, yeah.
Which I think is actually a fairly good thing. To have entire towns disappear overnight.
That's what I mean.
On the front. It's just like the dedication to nation, to the leaders, all done in the name of God. It was essentially the suicide of Christendom. Yeah, and we're kind of living in the aftermath. And yeah, thank God we're not speaking German or Japanese or.
Just saying it. When they start to doubt, and granted, you're right, not all heroes are not going to be perfect. Fine. However, we were the victors.
Right. And then the point is, though, Daryl Cooper says this thing that goes against the orthodoxy about all this. He's looking at it, I think, through the lens of everybody in war can do awful things.
Yes.
And wars can be prolonged, maybe when they could have been cut short. I think that's where he's coming from. But, folks have said, you should talk to Victor Davis Hanson. He's like, I respect, say, Victor Davis Hanson. But my answer to him is going to be this 10, 12, 30-hour long series I'm going to do, where I really do the deep dive. I was just spitting on Tucker Carlson. But we brought all this up because it's the Streisand effect. He's bad. Don't go talk to that guy who's on that Tucker guy. He's just, and now he's got the biggest numbers ever.
Well, because of Putin.
Right. And Liz Cheney.
But Putin is back in
I
Harris.
just love that. The same day Liz Cheney endorses Kamala Harris, Vladimir Putin endorses Kamala Harris.
I read this, but I didn't see anything from the campaign. Did they respond at all? Like did they say thanks but no thanks? Or
I'm not even sure. It's pretty epic level trolling.
Besides ignoring it, what else can you do?
Well, I've always said the most effective propaganda against Americans, this goes back to when I was thinking about 2016. I actually named the stream this today. It was George Orwell's favorite line of poetry. A truth that's told with bad intent beats all the lies you can invent.
Yes.
It's what William Blake's Auguries of Innocence, and brilliant poem. And that's what I think the Russians are essentially doing. Like, you can spread outright lies, like outright disinformation.
Yeah.
But if you start telling truths that undermine a society, which is how the Soviet Union collapses, people started telling the truth.
Exactly.
And things sort of fell apart. So if you start selling and telling truths, especially selectively chosen, amplified in a certain way, it could do a lot worse than a lie, than an outright lie. And now that we have communication technologies that allow people to pretty much say and read and listen to and watch whatever they want, you better watch out. And apparently that's the big DOJ thing, that the Russians created this huge thing that was then syndicating shows that they thought were helping their cause or something. It's awfully convenient that it's a lot of popular, like Tim Pool. Like Tim Pool had a show literally called The Culture War, this media cutout, apparently backed by the Kremlin.
Yeah.
Then syndicated the show they were already doing.
Like, we don't do the same damn thing.
Like everybody.
Radio for Europe. Hello.
Oh, right.
You think
but we're allowed to do it, they're not.
You can go to Cuba and pick up great radio stations from the United States because they got a platform out there blasting them.
You can go to Cuba and pick up a lot of things.
So you did watch the video.
I did.
Told you.
Hey, let's hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie right there at Dylan Rings. And today, if you go to Facebook, Dylan Rings is showcasing a piece called The Evil Eye.
Evil Eye.
The evil eye is a supernatural belief and a curse brought about by a malevolent glare, usually inspired by envy.
Mm-hmm.
The belief in the evil eye among humans has existed for thousands of years, and amulets to protect against it have been found dating to around 5,000 years ago. There's an example here on the Book of Faces, features diamonds and a sapphire in white gold. Beautiful. Regular price $715, but if you mention this post on Facebook, or say, if you mention to them, hey, I heard Joey and Eddie talking about this on the radio, I got a feeling it's going to be $500.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a heck of a savings.
Yes, it is.
And you actually have an evil eye story, right?
Yes. When we lived in Turkey, the evil eye was very popular mythology type thing. Everybody had them. Wind chimes and things like this, everything had the evil eye on it. Well, we moved back, and it's 20 years later, Suzanne and I lived up at the lake, and we went to my mom's house. We were watching her house for the weekend or something. And we were going through some of that Turkish stuff, and I seen this beautiful evil eye thing. I said, hey, we're going to take it. She's like, okay. And, of course, my mom didn't care, but I told her the story then. I was always told you have to be given an evil eye. If you take one, the curse will follow you. So we took it, went home for the weekend.
She took it.
Yeah. We had the worst weekend we've ever had before. And it's been a while, so I couldn't tell you the specifics, but I remember a car breaking down. I remember a flat tire. I remember some walking. And at the end of the weekend, we took that evil eye back to my mother's house and put it back in that box and told her what we did and never spoke of it again.
So maybe there's something to it.
I'm telling you.
Don't take it.
It has to be given to you.
Yes. Or you can, of course, buy a beautiful
Well, it'd be presented
piece
to you
there.
at that point, yes.
Yes, at Dylan Rings.
Don't just take it.
They can do the custom design work. They can also have, they have great stuff in stock, from high-end to everyday jewelry. They can also do repairs, including watch repairs, spa treatments. They really do it all there. Full service jewelry shop. So check them out today. You can always go to DylanRings.com or look them up on the Book of Faces. But I really encourage you to stop by their showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery, just off of Atlanta Highway. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Been doing electrical work for 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, 23 years. I love troubleshooting. It's one of my passions.
Electrical is all I do, unless my wife asks me to do something at home. Together, there's nothing that we can't figure out or accomplish.
We've seen it all here at Mr. Electric.
Going in with the confidence to know it doesn't matter what I'm going to run into, I'm going to figure it out, and confidently telling that customer, we got you taken care of.
It's gonna the power to make things better.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-457-6060. That's 1-800-457-6060.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercials.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. Big weather changes underway as a disturbance approaches from the west. That'll bring in the better rain chances, and temperatures are cooling off. Today's high temperature only near 80. Another nice easterly breeze with the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing, especially by this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. Low tonight in the upper 60s. Better rain chances, wetter tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms. Highs only in the mid to upper 70s. Then a fall-like weekend, mostly sunny, mid-80s daytime Saturday and Sunday, but low 60s at night. Get ready for a great weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Whether you're buying a home or auto or consolidating debt, CB&S Bank's personal loans get you where you need to go. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you or apply online today. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228. If you want to get in on the conversation, that's 334-272-9228. What are you giggling about over there?
It's not time, but got a friend of mine that stopped by, or Pest Pro stopped by their house.
Yeah.
So he just told me that Jonathan and Thomas from Pest Pro came by to spray, and I literally wanted them to hang out with me all day.
Oh, we can talk about Pest Pro.
That's how good of people they are.
Yeah.
Literally how good of people they are.
They really are easy to get along with.
They're incredible, man.
So they came by to spray, you said?
They came by his house to do the normal spray, and he just fell in love with him, like I do.
People,
I mean, when they come up to our Airbnb, they let me know ahead of time, hey, we're coming, and have you had any issues? If I had, I'll let them know. Most of the time we haven't. Then when they leave, they give me a text, say everything's fine. And if they saw something, they let me know. And I've never had, thank God, knock on wood, I've never had a client say they've had any pest control problems at all while they were there. In fact, one lady said she was surprised they didn't have to use their mosquito dope. I didn't want to give them the trick that I use. I use Pest Pro Services. But they're just a great company and a local company. They're not, I would say 99% of the money that you spend with them stays right in the community.
Amen. So whether you're looking for a specific job like mosquito treatment, or you're looking for that everyday spray, so to speak, just have them have your back.
Definitely, man.
On a regular basis. That's Pest Pro Services there at 265-9990. Again, 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsroofregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Red Top.
All right.
Hey, Red Top.
Hey, fellas. In fact, they were just next door to a house I was working on yesterday.
They're everywhere,
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw them at the gas station just yesterday.
And they need to come to the mansion I was working on in Oak Cloverdale today because the lady told me she saw a big rat run across the front porch.
There are some big ones in that area.
Yeah,
There's some big ones.
millionaires and rats do not get along.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been working on a 123-year-old window.
Oh, wow.
In Oak Cloverdale. And I'll tell you, the people that built these houses were masters.
Yes, sir.
Master carpenters. Every piece of lab has got nailed in with a nail that I would smash my thumb with. So I have a lot of respect for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were the people that built the old houses in this town were incredibly talented.
Yes, sir.
And you know what? That old Heart of Pine don't have termites, and it ain't rotted yet, guys.
You're right. That's the good stuff, man. Try to drive a nail through there, Red Top. You'll break your hammer.
I use a nail gun now because since they stopped making nails at U.S. Steel in Birmingham, all the little bastards bent in half.
Yep, it's so true. They do.
And no head on them. So, I never used a nail gun, Joey, until they started making nails in China.
Yep.
Because the suckers will go in. Now, I'm very glad that Vladimir Putin has endorsed, what's her name, this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the second major news record, news network I've heard this on, and I find it very amusing that he's just blatantly endorsing Kamala Harris. And then, of course, the spies in the governor's office in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't notice this woman had this damn $3.5 billion mansion in the Hamptons. It's amazing how easy it is to infiltrate our government, isn't it, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
And you know what? It's these Venezuelan gangs like guys in Colorado. Lord, I don't know what's going to happen if a Facebook group gets together and tries to get all these people stirred up. God damn, it could be complete mayhem in this country, couldn't it?
It could be.
Could be.
Because I was very surprised to see all the events. They seemed to focus on it yesterday on the Todd Starnes report, how many incidents. Now, we're very lucky to be in Montgomery, Alabama, for many reasons, wouldn't you say, gentlemen?
Oh, yeah. Well, we got a gun behind every tree here.
Oh, well, this is true. That's why I'm not really scared because everything in my truck will kill you. That's why it's amazing I'm alive still today being a contractor. So anyway, you guys enjoy this cool weather. Damn, it might even rain tomorrow. I'm not sure I'm going to know what to do with myself. Roll Tide, go Trump.
See you, Red Top.
Appreciate it, Red Top. 272-9228. Yeah, only got a few minutes here. So Trump did an announcement today.
Do the town hall?
No, we'll get to the Sean Hannity town hall. But Trump announced something else today having to do with Mr. Musk. Let's listen in.
All right.
Fourth, at the suggestion of Elon Musk, who has given me his complete and total endorsement. That's nice. He's a smart guy.
That's nice.
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. It's very, very much appreciated. I will create a Government Efficiency Commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. We need to do it. Can't go on the way we are now.
Hear, hear.
And Elon, because he's not very busy, has agreed to head that task force. Be interesting. If he has the time, it'll be a good one to do it, but he's agreed to do it. In 2022, fraud and improper payments alone cost taxpayers an estimated hundreds of billions of dollars.
Correct. Yep.
As the first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of dollars, trillions. It's massive. For the same service that you have right now, trillions of dollars is wasted and gone and nobody knows where it went. Further taming inflation and bringing prices way down.
That's his goal, is further taming inflation, bringing prices way down. But yeah, no, I like that announcement.
You know me, I'm down with it. I'm one of them people that think the economy will make a pretty drastic turnaround within probably the first 90 days, Trump taking office. Mainly because of nothing, I will say necessarily he does besides taking office, but the business world is excited about somebody like him coming in.
Now, when we come back, it is interesting after that Daryl Cooper appearance with Tucker Carlson. It's like every major historian has stepped up to the plate.
Oh, really?
Anybody with notoriety. Victor Davis Hanson has a piece. Neil Ferguson has a piece. Neil's is a little more snarky, where he's like, they're doing anti-history on podcasts, not real history. Okay. I'm like, okay, I respect you guys. In fact, I know for a fact Daryl Cooper respects you guys, but it's fascinating how there is an official narrative and that nothing ever can be questioned. They went through the same thing with Pat Buchanan. You can find an Uncommon Knowledge episode with Christopher Hitchens and Victor Davis Hanson talking about Pat Buchanan's book, which is a lot of, I think, what Daryl Cooper's pulling from. Churchill and the Unnecessary War or something like that was Buchanan's book back then. So this has been a debate ongoing for a while. It's just now larger platforms, but I'd say in good faith, let's come back. Victor Davis Hanson has a piece out called The Truth about World War II.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Jury selection was set to begin in Hunter Biden's federal tax trial when the president's son changed his plea to guilty. Prosecutors say Biden participated in a 4-year scheme to avoid paying $1.4 million in taxes. His defense attorneys say he was in the throes of active addiction that affected his judgment to the point he could not demonstrate the intent to commit the crimes. The number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits fell to its lowest level in 2 months last week, signaling that layoffs remain relatively low despite other signs of labor market cooling. Jobless claims fell by 5,000 to 227,000 for the week. That's the fewest since the week of July 6th, when 223,000 Americans filed claims. The Dow is dropping 342 points now. This is SRN News.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text PREPARE to 989898. That's PREPARE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Hi, everybody. Big weather changes underway as a disturbance approaches from the west. That'll bring in the better rain chances, and temperatures are cooling off. Today's high temperature only near 80. Another nice easterly breeze with the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing, especially by this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. Low tonight in the upper 60s. Better rain chances, wetter tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms. Highs only in the mid to upper 70s. Then a fall-like weekend, mostly sunny, mid-80s daytime Saturday and Sunday, but low 60s at night. Get ready for a great weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25-horsepower Kubota tractor with front-end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Construction is underway on a new community center in Montgomery. The Calmar Community Center will be on Calmar Drive, just off Eastern Boulevard. The 5,000 square foot facility will include meeting rooms and classrooms for pre-K programs, workforce development, and continuing education. The Calmar Community Center is expected to open next spring. A divided federal appeals court has refused to block Alabama from enforcing its ban on treating transgender minors with puberty blockers and hormones. The new Alabama law makes it a felony to treat people under the age of 19 with puberty blockers or hormones to affirm their gender identity. Interim Police Chief Jim Grabois reports there has been a significant increase in applications to join the Montgomery Police Department. Grabois credits new recruitment tactics such as an early hire program for the success. Grabois expects the trend to continue and produce a large class of police officers in November. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Sharon at Whitworth Farm Equipment now has a qualified and certified mechanic. Gary Baker can do it all. They're here to keep you in the field. Your tractor should work as hard as you do and keep working. For all parts and service, come see Whitworth Farm Equipment for all tractor parts, implements, and trailers. And now selling pine straw rolls. Go to Whitworth Farm Equipment, 285-9977, or at 7458 Deatsville Highway.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
In politics, man must learn to rise above principles.
Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi. It's a fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real. Right? All right?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. I'm Joey. This is Eddie.
What's up, Joe?
And as we're calling this thing online, it's Joey Clark Live. You can like and subscribe there on YouTube. That's the name of the channel, Joey Clark Live. A few restaurants around town have it up on
yes, they
on
do.
the big screens, on the monitors. And
It's great when I'll get a text while we're on the show and people will tell me they're eating lunch and watching us on TV. And a couple of them said, I didn't even know you guys were on TV.
I know. It's interesting how, like, I'm going to keep repeating myself. Joey Clark Live on YouTube. Like and subscribe. We got about a solid 100 people that do it every day.
Yeah.
And I love you folks.
Oh, I think
Thank
that's
you
great.
for that. I'm well aware of the realistic proportions of, let's say, our humble capital city.
Yeah, but I mean, don't be too humble. There's been several times where we've got several thousand watching. And,
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, that happens too.
Days that you go without a shirt.
I'm working on it, big boy. I'm working on it. I was 210 today. I'm going in the right direction.
Look at you. I'm 213.
I'm trying new workout schemes. I won't go into all that, but yeah, new weightlifting techniques and whatnot.
Have you thought about doing the bodysuit like Greg does and go walk around when it's 115 degrees in the neighborhood?
No.
Have you considered that, Joey?
No, I don't want to get shot.
Well, not only that, I think normal people would die of dehydration before you made it around the block.
Right. No, and I think, doing hour 15 in 130 degree sauna
Joey.
is enough. So
yeah,
like,
it's enough. But it's a dry heat. It's not really.
right. That is infrared. So it's not like a Swedish sauna where it's like actual.
Yeah, well, somebody go throw the water on the
which
rock
you can only stay in for a little while. But no, I like these infrared saunas. It works. It does work. So where we left off is everybody's all up in arms over Daryl Cooper. And one in particular, a guy I respect. In fact, I know Daryl Cooper respects this guy. Victor Davis Hanson has responded. And I do swear by Victor Davis Hanson's The Second World Wars. It's really a fantastic book and take, done in more of a classical style and how he breaks down things. So let's remind ourselves of the, say, official history. In a recent and now widely seen Tucker Carlson interview, a guest historian named Daryl Cooper casually presented a surprising number of flawed theories about World War II. He focused his misstatements on the respective roles of Winston Churchill's Britain and Adolf Hitler's Germany, especially in matters of treatment and fate of Russian prisoners, the Holocaust. See, I don't remember him saying anything about the Holocaust. The systemic slaughter of Jews. Again, I don't remember him saying anything about that. Strategic bombing and the nature of Winston Churchill. Because of the size of the audience Carlson introduced him to, and because of the gravity of Cooper's falsehoods, his assertions deserve a response, writes Victor Davis Hanson. On the treatment of Russian prisoners, it is simply not true, as Cooper alleges, that Hitler's Wehrmacht, was completely surprised and unprepared for the mass capitulation of the Red Army and some 2 million Russian prisoners who fell into German hands in summer 1941. The virtual extinction of these POWs in the first 6 months of the war was a natural consequence of a series of infamous and so-called quote-unquote criminal orders issued by Hitler in spring 1941 to be immediately implemented in his planned war of extermination in the East. The edicts variously targeted for elimination prominent Soviet officials, intellectuals, Jews, and commissars. Just as importantly, Hitler exempted German soldiers from any criminal liability in what was expected to be the mass killing of Russians and Jews in general. In Mein Kampf, during the lead up to the war, and even through the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact years later, Hitler had planned eventually to invade Russia, destroy the Soviet Union, put an end to what he called Jewish Bolshevism, and annex and then eventually resettle almost all of European Russia. In part, he was encouraged by the German success in briefly absorbing much of the Western Russia in late 1917 and early 1918. Accordingly, Hitler and his planners envisioned a quick Russian campaign. Chief of the Army General Staff, General Franz Halder, believed that Operation Barbarossa, which began on June 22, 1941, had essentially been won in its first 11 days. Halder matter-of-factly wrote in his diary that the Russian population would have to be disposed of during the first winter to save Germans the effort of feeding and maintaining them. Hitler further assumed the liquidation of Soviet-style Marxism was inseparable from the destruction of all the Jews in the East, whose wartime persecution began in Poland just days after the German invasion in September 1939, and well before any Allied response. Real quick, again, I just watched Tucker Carlson talking to this Daryl Cooper guy once. The Halder thing is exactly what Cooper brings up. That he wrote matter-of-factly in his diary that the Russian population would have to be disposed of during the first winter to save the Germans the effort of feeding and maintaining them. That's exactly the point Daryl Cooper made. So I don't know. Well, let's keep reading here. True, some of the invading Wehrmacht officers may have been disturbed at the sheer mass of captives and Germans' inability to offer even the bare essentials of humane treatment. But they quickly learned from Berlin's doubling down on earlier eliminationist directives that they were not to worry about the millions of doomed Russian prisoners or the murderers of Jews, given their deaths were consistent with the prior Führer directives for the future resettling of Western Russia. At Nuremberg, and after the war, many veteran generals of the Eastern Front claimed they privately opposed Hitler's orders of total war that entailed liquidation of communists and Jews and assumed the mass death of Russian POWs. But very few could prove they had not received such orders or had bravely opposed their implementation. So, who was responsible for starting World War II? As for Cooper's claim that the Allies were to blame for starting a world war, nothing could be further from the truth. Hitler may have been frustrated that Britain and France declared war on him after his unprovoked invasion of Poland on September 1st, 1939, but he had been warned by some advisors that the two allies would be finally forced to war, given that he had broken almost all his pre-war promises to them about ceasing his serial territorial acquisitions. Now, keep in mind, too, the British, Chamberlain, we all hear about the Munich conference. Chamberlain makes peace with Hitler, and he comes back with the peace in our time. Chamberlain's kind of last straw was like, I'm going to give Poland a war guarantee. Like, if you invade Poland, Britain's declaring war on you. The problem, though, it was a last act of desperation. The British had, the Germans had 10x the amount of troops ready to go compared to the British army. And so the British were essentially bluffing. And
time.
Their bluff was called.
Yep.
Incidentally, the much maligned Versailles Treaty was nevertheless far more lenient to Germany than what the Kaiser had envisioned in 1914 for a conquered France. The German imposed peace on a defeated Bolshevik Russia under the Brest-Litovsk Treaty of March 1918, or any of Nazi Germany's post-war treatments of conquered nations. Hitler, remember, had betrayed and humiliated Neville Chamberlain by unapologetically reneging on the agreements he made in Munich, and he had erased an autonomous Czechoslovakia. Yet Hitler strangely saw his Munich Agreement victory as a sort of temporary setback, despised the compliant Chamberlain, and often blamed him for talking him into delaying for even a brief period his planned wars of aggression. Hitler ended the 8-month phony war after the destruction of Poland by invading Western Europe in April and May 1940, but not because he was frustrated that France and Britain had not taken up his initial peace offers. Instead, for all his hysterics and frustrations, he understood well that they had grasped the envisioned permanently subservient roles for both nations in a post-war Hitlerian world. And Germany knew that it had finally shocked naive European governments to their senses by the pre-civilizational brutality it displayed in Poland. Instead, Hitler restarted the war in Norway, Denmark, the Low Countries, and France because he wished to complete his pan-European conquest both before his long-planned and inevitable turn eastward against his erstwhile partner but existential enemy of the Soviet Union, and before America inevitably would enter the war on the side of the Allies. Hitler sometimes whined that America's late 1917-18 entrance had doomed Imperial Germany's supposedly certain last chance of victory. And, wow, this is long. Victor Davis Hanson goes on in long detail. I would say if you want to carefully read this stuff yourself, you can go to the Free Press. That is available online at the Free Press. You have a lot of, say, official historians speaking out against Daryl Cooper. I have a sense, though, that Cooper got out over his skis and he hadn't done all the reading just yet. And so I'm interested in a full response. In fact, I'd love to see, some of these folks who disagree in the same room hashing it out in certain ways. That's one of my biggest frustrations in the online world now is it's so easy to connect, but so often people are just talking past one another.
Oh, yeah.
Especially on the big issues. So I wish we could kind of get back to, no, let's get everybody in the same room. And I'm a little frustrated myself with, say, the established authority, say, in history. if they're still bemoaning the fact that they don't have essentially a monopoly on the microphone anymore. Guys, whether it's in the media, whether it's in academic subjects, and anything else,
this is true.
Get over yourselves and engage with people. Obviously, Victor Davis Hanson is, Neil Ferguson is, but there's always this gripe in the back of their minds that, this internet thing, these podcast things. Get over it. Engage with the new world. And I think we'll make a better place for everybody. But this sort of clinging to the past, say the mid-90s, is not going to serve us well in a lot of fronts, history included. Now, what's more in the news is apparently today, Hunter Biden is going to plead guilty.
Why wouldn't you? Your dad's president. He's going to give you a pardon.
To tax charges.
He's going to escape, man. Come on.
I think you're right. I think he's going to plead guilty, and then he's going to get a
I just hope
pardon.
the American people, when he does it, they start calling Biden the liar that he is, because Biden specifically came out and said he was not going to pardon his son. Now, he was lying then, and he knew he was lying then. And he'll go with I'm an old man, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, so
Trash.
And also, it's like Biden, he politically, he's, to quote John Kennedy, as dead as fried
He's gone,
chicken.
man.
Yeah.
He's gone.
He's
I
gone.
guarantee you now, if somebody want to talk to the president, he ain't the one picking up the phone.
Right. Now, in other news, the FBI, the school shooter yesterday in Georgia, the FBI got a note about him, went and talked to him about a year ago.
About a year ago, Joey.
Because he threatened to shoot up the school.
Yeah.
You know how hardcore on free speech I am, but if you make material threats, especially when we've seen this pattern over the last several years now, maybe you need to be incredibly watched, and in particular, made sure you don't get a firearm.
Well, that's part of my problem, too, is the lack of follow-up. Okay, obviously he was a threat enough that you had to go pay him a visit. But how quickly did you close that file? Why would you not, on a semi-regular basis, drop into his house, see what's going on?
Yeah, keep tabs on him.
You know why? Well, see, we don't have air marshals anymore. This is all what they're doing with the FBI. What they need to be doing is just the opposite.
No, and it's become almost cliche at this point that the FBI knew of the suspect a long time before they actually.
But they've got the FBI chasing January 6 people right now. Still.
Well, and that first person got a lesser sentence because of a new Supreme Court ruling who had been charged with, I think, obstructing an official proceeding. Got a much more reduced sentence. So you're seeing progress on that front. Let's go to something that isn't being talked about too widely in the news, but I think we do need to talk about it.
Let's.
Fat troops.
Oh, that's not where I was going. What's wrong with fat troops?
They cost a lot of money. These Butter Mountains.
They put their life on the line,
these
Joey.
big
You
old porkers.
Put a dollar signal or a dollar sign on that, Joey. They put their life on the line.
Here's the headline from Stars and Stripes.
Mhm.
Obesity among troops costs Pentagon more than $1 billion per year.
What's that? A hammer to the Pentagon?
Right.
I mean,
No, it is $1 billion, Eddie.
It is. Okay, it's $1 billion. But in the big scheme of things, the guys and gals that are putting their life on the line are a little bit overweight. That's where you guys want to go? You don't want to look for improvement, I don't know, within your own department?
Well, and you also, you kind of run their lives.
And
why are they
there's
so
a fat boy
fat?
program. There's a military fat boy program. When you reach X amount of weight, you go in the fat boy program. Everybody knows about it.
Right.
So
What about
again,
the fitness standards to just get in?
Well, you got to meet them to get in, but
Once you're
once
in.
you're in, we got some money.
Wait, so there isn't continuing testing of the standard?
Yeah, I think it's yearly.
But here's what Stars and Stripes writes.
That crap.
What's wrong with you? Why are you so upset? You don't want to hear about
That's
this?
just all that is, and you know it. It's a political rag to say the least.
I'm going to read
that
it
the DOD
nonetheless.
puts out.
American troops are too fat. I would add that this reflects the general population.
Yeah, it's America.
But Stars and Stripes writes, American troops are too fat, and it's costing the Pentagon more than $1 billion of taxpayer funding each year. A study of obesity among active duty service members published Wednesday found. Obesity was the leading cause for disqualification among hopeful military recruit applicants and the top driver of separations among active duty troops in 2023. The Washington-based think tank, American Security Project,
That's a waste of money.
that studies modern national security issues, found the Pentagon spent something like $1.25 billion last year treating military patients for dozens of diseases related to obesity, and another $99 million in lost productivity among hospitalized overweight troops.
Did they say how much money we spent on troops that they poisoned intentionally, like with the Gulf War?
Mm-hmm.
They put that kind of out there. So do they want us to return when we start seeing soldiers in outfits or in uniform, they look a little pudgy? Should we go, hey, fatty? That's what they want us to do?
I think drill sergeants have said worse.
I know they have. Right. This is ridiculous.
I joined the Army.
And let's say you
eat
go
a
to
lot
Jordan.
of cupcake.
Let's say I go to Jordan. They say, Eddie, you're 10 pounds over. Do you think I'm just going to go, well, I guess I'm out, fellas? Or I come back in a few days and, hey, put me on the scale again. Put me on the scale again. Come on.
Last year, the American Security Project found nearly 7 in 10 active duty troops were overweight or obese. That actually is reflective of the American population at large.
Sounds like it. Yes.
I think it's like 78%, if you include folks that are right on the cusp there.
Could be worse. We could be hungry.
Honestly, I think you and I would be included in that. And I feel like I'm doing all right.
Oh, I'm sure if I had to put on boots and go to boot camp, I'd probably drop down to 175, 180.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You start marching around.
But, I don't need to happen.
Now, they might say, well, this is causing so many problems. I'm getting a message. And at Gunter, a person who would know said...
What did you say?
At Gunter Annex.
Gunter? Okay. Check. Are you German there?
I will hurt you. All right? Don't try me. At Gunter Annex, this person said that at least last year, they were allowed 8% overregulation.
So are they going to tell us that that's why their recruiting is down now? Because we need
and I've already covered this. Like I did, like a few months back. That another one of these rags put out by the Pentagon was saying essentially these folks are bigoted, fat, stupid, drug addicted, and too Southern in some cases.
Yes.
Like,
who would want them in their military, Joe?
right.
Why do you guys even want them?
But I think the main reason people don't want to serve is kind of, well, look who's running the show, number one, in terms of our civilian commanders. And then look who, look at the results over the last few decades.
Look at uniform commanders.
Like, I really do buy the argument that, in particular, say the Army was set up to succeed down the wrong road. What do I mean by that? Well, instead of fighting a quick war and getting out of, say, Afghanistan, let's fight a 1-year war 20 years over.
Oh, yeah. We do that a lot.
And have a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse, which means a lot of fat warlords there in Afghanistan. Yeah, that's just one example that kind of turns people off.
That's a pretty good one. Pretty good one. Also, what about our food supply? I mean, if we really break it down, most Americans realize the food that you're buying at the grocery store is poison.
Yes.
Most other countries not even allowed.
Right.
And I used to think, honestly, when I was young, I thought that's because we were such just honorable, sharp, indestructible people. Everybody else was soft. That's why we could handle that kind of stuff. But really, as I got older, I learned, Joey, that's poison they're putting in there. And it's cheaper.
The military services have taken steps in recent years to counter obesity. The Army and Navy introduced fitness courses to engage potential recruits early and get them in shape to qualify for service. The Marines, meanwhile, began using more accurate biometric scanning machines last year to assess body fat.
I'd be out.
Yeah.
They're like,
Man,
they would literally say, your height and weight's not so bad, but
Sarge,
you got like 90% body fat.
Sarge, I was kind of counting on the calipers. Wait, you're scanning me?
Yeah. Hold on, I didn't study for that. Are we grading on a curve? What are we doing here?
But the American Security Project concluded those measures were not enough to mitigate the threat of increasing weight problems in the force, which were exacerbated during the 2020 coronavirus pandemic, of course.
When you made everybody sit at home and do nothing?
Yeah, which forced many troops away from daily exercise during lockdowns. Good job, guys.
What's that thing about the government giving you a crutch?
So, honestly, in my everyday life, you go around Montgomery here and you see Air Force people mostly.
Yeah.
And you'll see the Air Force people at lunch or something. I don't see like my first thought was, especially when I see somebody in uniform, I don't think, oh, they're fat.
Never.
Most of the people I've seen who are part of the Air Force are in pretty good shape.
I've
But
very
maybe
seldom
that's just
seen
my
fatters.
anecdotal. I don't notice or
No,
whatever.
well, it's also how they wear their BDUs. But honestly, you don't see that.
And also, if I'm like a drone operator, why do I need to be in shape?
Because if
Give
you're
me
not
one of
in
those
shape,
flamethrower
we have to buy a bigger, heavier duty chair for you.
Hmm.
We don't like spending money, Joey. We're the military.
No, I have a feeling, given that all the phone lines are lit up, we said something wrong.
I'm thinking too, Joey.
But I'm happy to be corrected.
Even line 6 is lit up, Joey.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Soldier Boy, I know I'm not supposed to call back too, but I want to tell you about the Fat Boy program.
Tell me, Soldier Boy.
Oh, boy, did I live it. No, it just happened. Like the year before I was getting ready to retire, okay? I'm sporting a big 40 years old, you know? And I got to do X amount of push-ups within 1 minute, right?
Oof.
But the female next to me, from 18 to 30, had to do half the push-ups that I had to do and got run it in less than 4 minutes. I said, when's the last time you've seen a 20 to 30-year-old individual run slower than a freaking 40-year-old? Come on.
Wait, do you remember how many push-ups the men you had to do within a minute?
Well, I was in great shape back then in my battle days. I wasn't in my crystals.
Well, no, I'm wondering, like,
was it?
I'm trying to judge
35 in a
myself.
minute?
How many in a
60
minute did you have to do?
I think it was 40 in a minute.
Oh, that's easy.
You
Yeah,
heard
well,
that,
that's
Soldier
what
Boy?
I'm saying.
40 in a minute. I got the timer on my phone. You can bust out 40.
Hey,
in a
but
minute?
here's the worst thing is the Fat Boy program. Some of the people were so freaking close. Okay, fracking close. I can use that word, fracking. They were so fracking close. They'd spend like a half a day in the sauna.
Yep.
And taking
Make
diuretics.
it wait, baby.
The valves out.
Can't lose my career, man.
Oh man, they were. I got 15 years in, man. I can't.
Can't lose my retirement, dude.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and you should see them. They crawl with no water in them the whole freaking day. You know, urinating in 60 cups in the line and everything. And they finally got on there. I thought they were going to pass out. They were actually destroying their
Oh,
bodies.
yeah, man. That's
Well,
dangerous
it's kind
stuff.
of like UFC. Well, it's kind of like the UFC when you try to make weight.
Right.
You're cutting weight.
They're cutting it, baby. Cutting it.
Oh, man.
Well-
I never seen I never seen somebody take diuretics, man. They're
Oh, I bet.
and they were chugging water and getting into that sauna. And they would do anything to try to lose a pound and a half. Because when I was in, they were hardcore, man. Oh, you're only a pound over there, Soldier Boy. We're gonna let that slide. Oh, hell no! They said back to the sauna, Fat Boy.
Yep. Well,
You got standards.
It was tough.
Well, I appreciate the call, man.
See you, Soldier Boy.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey guys, I love your show.
Yeah.
And I do love the previous caller. I hope he's hearing this. I enjoyed listening to him. But this is what I was going to say with it, and it always turns political for me, is, yeah, you got a program if somebody's overweight, but they want to join, you know. But no, the people from the top down want to say, hell, you can join and get a sex change. You can do whatever. And in other words, the main mission, protecting America, is totally lost with the political people. And
Yes, I think
Thanks for
things have
listening.
become way too political, especially the folks playing the game at the very top.
Agree 100%.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks, Robert.
Line 4, you're on there. Who's this?
Jesse.
Hey,
Hey,
Jesse.
how you doing?
Hello?
Yes,
Hey,
sir. Go ahead.
Who's this?
This is the radio station. You're on the air with us, sir.
I'm sorry. I didn't know someone was ahead of me or not. Anyway, I was a drill sergeant back in the 80s. I went in there in Vietnam. When I was a drill sergeant, believe it or not, it's a true story. I had one soldier, he was overweight. I don't know how he got in. But anyway, in 8 weeks, I worked that boy so hard in World War II barracks. He lost 60 pounds in 8 weeks.
Woo! Holy cow.
His parents didn't even recognize
bet not.
him.
That's nuts. That's a lot of weight in that quick of a time.
Hey, but you don't know what I did to him. I got him up in the barracks at 8 o'clock at night. It was 120 degrees in there. And I worked the crap out of him until 9 o'clock.
Man.
We talking running, sprinting, running, push-ups, like anything you can imagine?
I'd blow my whistle. They rotate from push-ups to sit-ups to side straddle hops with jumping jacks.
Oof, yeah.
I worked the crap out of them. Hey, but they hated me for 8 weeks. But I didn't want to set them off the war knowing they weren't ready to go.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? If they couldn't make it, I'd get them home.
Well, what a difference a few decades makes. It's just crazy.
You ain't kidding. We could use that now.
Yeah, I mean, and recruiters were telling me you can't do this, you can't do that. Trust me, I didn't have a wall like I didn't put in it. So.
Well, we'll see if we get back some discipline, at least on this front, going
It'd be
forward.
nice.
That's the whole thing. Discipline is everything.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate the call. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
272-9228. No, like 40 push-ups in a minute?
Think you can squeeze them out?
No, I think about all at once 40 is about my ceiling. I can
Period.
maybe push past it if I was fresh, but 40 is when it really starts to hurt.
Yeah, but do you warm up first or you drop down 40?
I usually warm up slowly, and then you go for the big amount. But no, usually when I start with 40, and then I'll do sets of like 20 to 25.
Still working on my first 40 from like 2015. Still working it in there.
And also, you got to get deep. You got to get deep.
No, in that case, I better start over.
Yeah, like, you got to get deep. Wait. So, like, if that's true, what Soldier Boy's saying, a female would have to do what, 20-something push-ups?
I don't know if it's changed now, but I know my dad used to say that it was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Like, I guess if this is just basic entry and you're not going to be like, but if it's anything where you need to have that preparedness on, especially front line duty, like, you need to have the same standard. Like, you know what I mean?
But not
and
everybody's...
there are certain women out there who definitely can meet the standard,
Oh,
no doubt.
But you've got to have a majority. So, and let's be honest, there's not many frontline Navy SEAL women. Not trying to be funny. Everybody's got a role, but I can't expect a woman to be right. Same thing as that.
I'm now thinking of that movie,
G.I.
Jane. It's so.
What'd she tell you, Joe?
It's so bad.
What'd she tell you?
I don't remember. It's so bad. It's so just not accurate. On so many ways. Like when she's talking back to the commander, it's like, no, I don't think that's happening.
Not really. Not for very long.
But it makes a good movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, Demi Moore, she's hot. Let's see
She
if she
was
can go
hot,
through
but-
it. Let's put the hot chick through hell. I like it.
It must have worked. People bought tickets, right?
People bought tickets.
I'm sure chicks joined the Air Force or the military after that as well.
Let's go to line 5. You're on there. Who's this?
How about it, fellas?
Hey, Randall.
Man, I have had some, man, y'all made me smile this past 15 minutes, that's for sure. I thought, Joy, you made me think of that dude, it made me think of even, when you said that about Gunner, I mean, I thought you was in your voice somehow. What are you doing in the bathroom so long? The way you pronounce Gunner.
Gunter.
But yeah, that was good. And then this last one talking about being there blowing the whistle all night.
Yeah. Well, you just got to remember, Randall, when it comes to those push-ups, you got to go deep.
You gotta go deep.
Go deep.
And but the main thing, you see, it's kind of odd how Trump had a little thing going last night, and the school shooting on the same day. I mean, you know, they had town hall.
Yeah.
It's like it's kind of.
After a while, you start kind of wondering, man. I gotta be honest.
Oh yeah. I mean, and they done talked to him too one time. I mean, the FBI done sent notes. I mean, how do you, I mean, because that's got to be from the, I don't even know where to start no more. I mean, because it's getting to where it's right. I mean, it's been in front of our face, but they don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
They don't try to hide it anymore.
Yeah. They put the information out there and say, hey, I ain't going to do nothing about it.
Yep.
So we weak. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
and when people
we
complain, they come back and say, oh, that was an accident. That was an inverted. We didn't mean to do that. At what point do we start calling him on that. It's no longer an accident. It happens way too much.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
When we back down there and can make the weight to get in the Army and again, like we too fat and happy. We're gonna have to be
You're right.
starved.
You are right, Randall. You are right.
Well, I appreciate the call, man.
See you, Randall.
This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and the team are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy or sell here in the Montgomery or surrounding areas. Or it could be you're looking to convert that property to a rental. Maybe you're moving and you don't want to sell. It's just not the right time for you, but you want it to be a performing asset instead of it being that liability. Unless you got your mortgage, paid off, it's nice. You still have things like property taxes and other upkeep maintenance issues. Why not have somebody who's renting it paying you? And the Goodson Group can help you in that regard, managing that rental. And then, of course, the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School. It's one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited programs here in the state because of Bo's nearly 50 years of experience, and he's very interactive in the course, teaching folks directly from what he's lived, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you can hit the ground running, maybe take a test to become a fully licensed realtor, or just to be a more knowledgeable player. So check out the Goodson Group today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of News and Views in the afternoon. Let's go to line 3 real quick. You're on there. Who's this? Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you hear him? I hear myself.
Yeah. See how you sound on the radio?
Yeah. Right. Well, maybe I'm going to talk like this for the rest of the day.
I think you should.
Hey. you
Hello.
there? Anybody?
News?
Hey,
Hey, who's this?
it's Jeff.
Hey, Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I was going to tell you, y'all was talking about the military. I went in, I joined the Guard in 79, right out of high school. And they sent me to Fort Knox, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
They've got 3 mountains up there, Heartbreak, Misery, and I can't remember the other one. But anyway, they would run us 5 miles down one of them every morning. And it was 2.5 miles down and 2.5 miles back. And coming back, everybody had to walk. Nobody could run up that mountain. And this was before breakfast.
Dadgum, man.
Yeah, this is before breakfast.
Eddie, you think you can do that?
No.
Yeah, you
I
think
couldn't do
Maybe
it
in
now.
79, but no,
Right,
not
not
today.
now.
Yeah.
No,
But we went to the rifle range one day in a distance and a half, and coming back, everybody had to get out of the truck so the truck could make it up the mountain.
Dang. I see the mountain
Okay.
names now. Misery, Agony, and Heartbreak.
Ooh,
That's
good
it.
Lord.
That's it. That's it. Yep, and they were bad.
It looks like it.
And I managed to get from 164 to 170 pounds.
Wow.
And now I weigh a little over 200.
Well, you and Joey got something in common.
I've been getting my bicycle back together, and I'm fixing to get rid of it.
There you go.
Yep. Have a good one.
Thank you,
too.
man. You too.
Bicycle.
Bicycle.
You want to ride your bicycle?
All the time.
Mm.
Actually, I had experience with an electric bike probably a year or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want one now.
An electric bike.
Dude,
But doesn't that defeat the purpose of the exercising?
who's exercising? I'm enjoying a bike ride. Getting out, enjoying some fresh air. And I ain't having to do nothing but push a button.
I'm just saying that I'm petty enough, vain enough, narcissistic enough
Mhm.
that when I heard that Eddie weighed less than me,
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to get on
Put
it.
some motivation in you, didn't it?
It did.
Yeah, but all right, now what are you going to do? Eddie's taller than you. What are you
I
going to do?
can't fix that.
You sure?
I have learned through, Stoic philosophy that you control the controllables,
You can. But
Hey,
are you
don't
even
worry about the
trying?
things that are out of your power,
Are
man.
you even trying?
Hmm?
I mean, are you even trying to get taller? I mean,
Trying to get that posture better, but sitting like this all day is a little.
I know science tells it it's impossible, but Joey, people don't believe in science anymore. So you can do what you want.
Come on down. I'll stretch you out like I stretched
what I'm
out
saying.
that. Like,
Give me
what
a
do
good
you
stretching.
mean? Stretch me out. What are you talking about?
Just a little air on the joint. Should be all right.
Let's hit a break. But
Let's do
first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. Hey, men, if you are feeling sluggish and run down, like you're losing muscle mass, you're getting fatter,
Yeah.
you're just tired all the live long day, especially after you eat.
Oh, yeah.
And it could be you're just never in the mood.
Happens.
Like, no sex drive to speak of.
You got the hot wife?
Yeah. It's like you're just not
Yeah.
Like it's just not there. The edge is gone.
Yep.
You've lost your mojo. Well, it could very well be, especially all these together, low testosterone.
100%.
So knowing whether or not you have low T is huge in combating these issues, and the providers there at Montgomery Men's Health can conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, they have low T treatments that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym. Brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido.
It's all right.
Yeah. You can actually book the same day that you call. That number 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the River region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather. Hi, everybody. Big weather changes underway as a disturbance approaches from the west. That'll bring in the better rain chances, and temperatures are cooling off. Today's high temperature only near 80. Another nice easterly breeze with the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing, especially by this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. Low tonight in the upper 60s. Better rain chances, wetter tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms. Highs only in the mid to upper 70s. Then a fall-like weekend, mostly sunny, mid-80s daytime Saturday and Sunday, but low 60s at night. Get ready for a great weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
The Alabama National Fair is back, October 4th through 14th.
The sights, the sounds, and the great food makes this something everyone looks forward to.
I love to munch down on giant turkey legs, funnel cakes, corn dogs, barbecue, and more. No one leaves hungry from the fair.
Get ready for the best Alabama fair yet. Be mesmerized by the tiger encounter, where majestic Bengal tigers and a rare white lion will take your breath away. Dive into fun and education at Cowtown, USA. And hold on tight for heart-pounding thrills with the fearless Flores Thrill Show. And the excitement doesn't stop there. Cheer on your favorite pig at the Swifty Swine Pig Races. And don't miss the incredible Zerbini Family Circus, featuring acrobatics, hilarious clowns, and stunning acts under the big top. Get your tickets now at alabamanationalfair.org. Sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Montgomery, Hyundai Motor Manufacturing of Alabama, and Coca-Cola.
The food is spectacular, the rides are a scream, and along with exciting outdoor shows, it makes the fair fun for the entire family.
It's the best 11 days of fall.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get on the program. You said Urbanite called off air?
Yeah, had a good point.
Yeah.
Unless you can correct me, remember when presidents used to kind of show off their physical fitness?
Sure.
It kind of ended around Clinton and Clinton's fake jogging. I do remember that.
I remember... See, like when I was a kid, I only remember the SNL spoofs.
That's how
so
I
remember,
specifically remember it.
Phil Hartman.
Exactly.
And he runs into the McDonald's. Yeah.
He's got the swishy.
All right.
Yeah. But after Clinton came Bush, and you and I were just talking, I don't remember any of the physical prowess with Bush. They kind of switched things up to the golf course.
Yeah. Now watch this drive.
Yeah. But that's kind of odd how... And I will say, they definitely snuck that in there, Joey.
If you're a big executive like a president, golf is a brilliant game to get good at and spend time at.
No doubt.
Because it gives you some escape, but you can still get a lot done from the golf course.
You do more business on the golf course than you do at home a lot of times. But
Yeah.
it's kind of funny how they snuck that in. I mean, I didn't even notice till Urbanite brought it up. I'd never noticed.
Well, RFK Jr. was trying to bring that back. That dude is jacked.
Jacked, yeah.
He's definitely doing testosterone replacement therapy.
At least, yeah.
Because he's 70, right? He
Is he
is
70?
jacked.
Lord, that
Well,
must be
and people
feeling
were
worse.
making fun of him because he was doing incline press at 95 pounds. I'm like,
Dude, he's 70 years old.
if you do that right, and he was doing it right, like strict, proper form, 95 pounds in the incline, you can grow some muscle. Like, that like, I just hate all these vanity, like, bro, the heaviest thing, let me get this up here. Like, okay,
There's
you're
always
gonna
I can
hurt
do something
yourself.
better.
Yeah, well, that's what somebody who can't lift that weight says.
He's 70 years old.
So yeah, and we were talking off mic about the presidential like requirements in elementary school and all this stuff. I remember field day over there.
Oh,
at
we had the
Catholic.
physical fitness challenge and the president. I mean, it was like a whole week of you did the whatever it was, push-ups, running. the
Like I
whole
remember
shebang.
Obama playing basketball and golfing a little bit.
Yeah, I do remember that. But I do remember the basketball.
I remember when he threw out the first pitch and he had those mom jeans on.
That's one of my favorites.
It's like, hey Barry,
Man, them jeans were they was good, buddy. But now, what about Reagan? I don't remember any with Reagan besides horseback.
well,
riding,
Reagan was
so that-
older at that
right,
point.
right. And I remember the horseback, and you did see the outdoor, and with
And
Bush
Gerald
too.
Ford, you know what was a
He would climb up a ladder and fall. That's all I remember.
yeah, but he was an athlete, right? A famous
I think
collegiate
yes,
athlete.
yes,
yeah.
I do think in college he was a real deal.
Well, I guess the person who did most of the walking was Jimmy Carter. It's like LBJ. Did he ever?
I've got. Well, you've heard all those stories of LBJ.
Oh man,
We'll
dirty
take a
dog.
ride in Cadillac, shall we?
Yeah, I think when you think of like the corruption of power, I think of that guy.
That right
Man.
there comes to mind immediately.
Like, and even like the great things he did for the history books of the Civil Rights Act, Civil Rights Act in particular, like the reasons.
Thank you.
And like he just was a dirty, dirty dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is East.
Hey, East, what's happening, bro?
Hey, it's happening. Look, I'm not calling to correct you, but to remind you, both President Reagan and W loved working on their ranches, and they would chop wood and would
good
clear
point.
brush.
I do remember
And
W out there
W was a
chainsaw.
bicycle guy.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he also used an axe, and you know, I don't know how much of that was photo op, but you know, he would do that stuff, and he was a fairly fit president. Reagan, you know, for his age, he lived to be what, 94?
Yeah, he was in his 90s. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Have you seen the new Reagan movie that's out? I haven't.
I've seen the previews. That's
Not
it.
yet. Not yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Probably because I like Quaid. You know, I've always enjoyed his work. Even as far back as Breaking Away, which was a film about my era.
Wow.
Growing up. Yeah.
You're pulling a blast from the past.
That is a blast, man, and that was the way things pretty much were when I was in high school. You know, so it's like it was very well done. But yeah, we have had some physical presidents, and then there's some people I'm just surprised that they make it out of bed in the morning.
You ain't kidding.
Oh yeah, and I just love the juxtaposition between working on the ranch and LBJ in his golf cart drinking on his ranch.
Yes. Well, LBJ was another story, and for him to bow out like he did was totally expected. It makes you wonder about some of these guys. You know, you think about even Kirk Gowdy. I mean, as much as my wife likes him, I think he kind of got out before the music was over. You know.
Oh yeah,
he might have. Yeah.
Well,
they know too much.
Yep.
Hey, great show, guys. I especially the Victor David Hanson stuff. I like that.
yeah, it was getting a little long, and if you want to read his full rebuttal, it's there at the Free Press. Victor Davis Hanson, even the guy who's criticizing Daryl Cooper says, I respect Victor Davis Hanson. So, you know, he's one of the best.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go look that up. Hey, thanks a lot. You guys have a great day.
Hey, you too, East. Thanks, bro.
East. This part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. In fact, the entire second hour brought to you by Alabama Home
Great
Mortgage.
folks over there, Joey.
Yeah, Kim and Madeline.
Some of the best in the business.
Really
my
good
friend.
people. And they're very good at what they do, yes. And in particular, like turnaround times.
Yeah. What she told us the other day, they closed out a VA 16 days.
15 days.
15 days. 2 weeks.
And especially if you are a veteran and you have not taken advantage of the VA home loan benefits. I know we have a lot of veterans in there.
We do.
A lot of listeners who are veterans.
Yes, we do.
Then take advantage of it.
Yep.
You're literally leaving money on the table. You're not going to beat this deal. These are benefits you earn through your service. And if you think, it's going to take forever, it's going to be a hassle. No, not with Alabama Home Mortgage. Again, it took them 15 days to do a refinance.
That's right. That's amazing.
So they can help you out in that regard. Or if you're looking to buy a home, they can walk you through that home buying process. They really do it all there at Alabama Home Mortgage. Maybe you just need an appraisal.
They can do it.
They can do it. The gold standard there. They'll check them out today. Give them a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
You probably know lots of people you trust to mow your lawn or wash your car. But when it comes to electrical work, you're picky. And you should be. See, electricity is complicated and potentially dangerous. The sad truth is, each year there are thousands of home fires caused by faulty wiring. Crosby Electric has been serving the river region for almost 50 years. Their technicians are held to the highest standards in the profession. To wear the Crosby Electric uniform, you have to undergo background checks, rigorous drug testing, continuous education, and safety training. The technicians at Crosby are specialists. They don't do plumbing. They don't fix air conditioners. They simply provide superior electric service in a safe and timely manner. Don't take chances. When you need electrical work, or if you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us online at crosbyelectric.com.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Coming up after the top of the hour break here in just a few minutes, we'll have the one, the only Jeff Dice, former chief of staff for Ron Paul when he was a congressman, 10 years as president of the Mises Institute, and just a great all-around fellow to talk to about world events. Let's go to Trish, though, before we hit our break. Hey, Trish, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. I just want to get back on this deal about the weight in the military.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a veteran, and when I was in the Air Force a few years ago, it's been a long time, we had a weight program. And they called it Fat Girl or the Fat Boy program if you came in within 10 pounds of your max weight. And they would put you on a treadmill and on a diet, and if you refused to lose that weight, you got kicked out. Well, now, let's go ahead 40 years. My son is in the Space Force. He's an officer, major.
Cool.
Wow. He was helped write the new directives for the PT program for the military, for the Air Force and Space Force. They no longer are required to run the 1.5 miles every year. We had to run it every year.
Yeah, you had to qualify.
They come in, and their weight program, they don't even have a weight program. And I'll tell you what, my son's got my height, and he's got a big old belly on him right now. And to me, it's disgusting. I think we should lean, trim, and if you're heavy, you can't get out there and run.
Right. Need lean, mean fighting machines. That's what we need, like it or not.
It drives me nuts. I go out the back sometimes, I'm like, good grief. And those ugly old uniforms don't help, but...
I agree with you on that.
They don't.
Thank you, Trish.
Appreciate it, Trish.
You have a good one.
Thank you for your service and your sons. But that's nuts. It fits, though.
It does fit because we've taken all of our standards, whether we like them or not, and we've thrown them out.
In everything.
And then it's just...
and especially when it's lower level troops, you're literally in charge of their lives.
Lower your expectations, Joey. That's the problem we got. And how could we build a society, honestly, on that whole mantra of lower your expectations? I don't want to be part of that society.
Well,
constant improvement is where we need to be.
Got to hit the stop there. Break. Be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
SRN News, I'm John Scott. The 14-year-old suspect has been charged as an adult in the shooting Wednesday outside Atlanta that killed 4 people. He's accused of using an assault-style rifle to kill students and 2 teachers in the hallway outside his algebra classroom. At least 9 other people, 8 students and 1 teacher at the school in Winder were taken to hospitals. All are expected to survive. Film footage of President John F. Kennedy's motorcade speeding down a Dallas freeway after he was fatally wounded have emerged. It will go up for auction. That comes later this month. RR Auction will offer up the home film in Boston on September 28th. Stocks are mixed, the Dow dropping 185 points, the NASDAQ ahead 61. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-838-8822. That's 800-838-8822. 800-838-8822.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Hi, everybody. Big weather changes underway as a disturbance approaches from the west. That'll bring in the better rain chances, and temperatures are cooling off. Today's high temperature only near 80. Another nice easterly breeze with the risk of scattered showers and thunderstorms increasing, especially by this afternoon, this evening, and tonight. Low tonight in the upper 60s. Better rain chances, wetter tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms. Highs only in the mid to upper 70s. Then a fall-like weekend, mostly sunny, mid-80s daytime Saturday and Sunday, but low 60s at night. Get ready for a great weekend. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
1819 News.
A Lipscomb man who was let out on bond by a self-proclaimed liberal Democrat judge has now gone on to shoot and kill 3 people at a Bessemer gas station. The latest shooting occurred over the Labor Day weekend. Rakeem Cunningham was out on bond, as was decided by Circuit Court Judge David Carpenter for the shooting death of a 15-year-old girl back in 2023. Now that same judge, David Carpenter, has decided to revoke bond for Cunningham after the triple homicides occurred in Bessemer. Carpenter's political position has been made known on his own social media accounts. He promotes Kamala Harris and claims the Biden administration policies are lowering the crime rates in the nation. 1819 News wrote about Carpenter's social media post this past August, where he calls himself liberal trash, a democratic socialist, and a far-left liberal who is your worst nightmare. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Covenant Rescue Group seeks to directly support organizations and agencies that are fighting the global battle against human trafficking. They do this through funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A young child under the age of 1 has now been located and safely returned to her parents. 11-month-old Yamile Moradel was taken from a Birmingham home by a family member and against the wishes of her parents. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency did get involved in this search, and the little girl was located this past Tuesday. 2 brothers from the city of Hoover have pleaded guilty to selling over $1 million worth of stolen goods. 32-year-old Abdurrahman Amar and 33-year-old Yayam Amar entered those pleas in federal court this week. The brothers would ship the stolen goods to customers throughout the U.S. and abroad, conducting over 7,000 transactions and grossing over $1 million. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
You want free speech?
Let's see you acknowledge a man whose words make your blood boil, who's standing center stage and advocating at the top of his lungs that which you would spend a lifetime opposing at the top of yours.
I'm a better looking person than Kamala.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. If you want to watch online, Joey Clark Live is the way to do it. Joey Clark Live on YouTube, or just search for @the Joey Clark on Twitter X. Slowly but surely growing. Slowly, though. But joining us now, over the live stream, we have the one, the only, Jeff Dice. Jeff, how are you today, sir? Oh, hold on. I think you're muted there. You've got your mic muted.
Good afternoon, Joey. How you doing?
Good. Doing well. Now, I began with that little drop there about you want free speech. That, I think, is from Aaron Sorkin's The American President, like the uber lib Sorkin. But isn't it amazing when you go back to 1990s, late 90s, early aughts liberalism, they're all about that, like those basic civil liberties. What has changed?
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Nobody's really for free speech. That's the first thing you got to understand. And I know you have Judge Napolitano on your show pretty regularly. And if you listen to him, First Amendment jurisprudence has been pretty robust. I mean, pretty favorable to free speech. If you compare, let's say, the Second Amendment, compare the Fourth Amendment, all the things the Supreme Court's come up with over the years to say, well, what's a reasonable search? You know, what are some exceptions to when a police officer can search your car? I mean, there are a lot more holes in most of the other amendments. The First Amendment has actually been more or less upheld in this country, relatively speaking. What's also very, very important is it's unique across the Western world. We can talk about the Magna Carta. We can talk about all these things that make the West the West. But if you look, I mean, it's really the First Amendment is something that still, even today, and I'm as jaded as any of your listeners about the Constitution, maybe, but it really is something that distinguishes us. And the idea that the left was ever for free speech, I think that's just a remnant of when they perceived themselves as underdogs. Right?
Well,
free speech is for underdogs. When you're winning everything, why allow it?
Right. When you're on top, you control. You call it misinformation. You call it hate speech. And it is disturbing how quickly the turn is happening in Europe, in particular the UK. I mean, they don't have a written constitution there, but to see police visiting people at their homes to interrogate and arrest them because of things they posted online, is just Orwellian is the word.
Yeah, that's 5 years away here, maybe. There's no question about it. I mean, we've seen people arrested and put in jail in the UK merely for attending a protest on the periphery. Some people would argue we've already had that here with the January 6th protesters a couple of years back. But I do think that there's a huge amount of support for hate speech laws in America. They already exist in Canada. They already exist in the UK. Why not? I would suspect that a good plurality, if not even a majority, of Americans would support that for what you played Tim Walz earlier as a hate speech or disinformation. Well, to be decided by whom? Who's the judge of that? So I think it's a very, very serious issue.
Well, and then one thing I have definitely bought into as he's risen in prominence is what Mike Benz has been saying about the blob. And so when you look at, say, X, Twitter X, is Elon Musk is being come after by Australia now, Brazil, the European Union itself. And Benz's idea is like, well, normally you would have the State Department defend an American citizen and an American company, but he suspects the State Department's probably behind this. They're using these outside foreign nations that aren't under our Constitution to essentially, through the back door, control American citizens and what we can say online.
Yes, you expect a neutral State Department to stand up for Mr. Musk against some of these threats. And it is not our business, for example, what the free speech laws are in Brazil, but the idea that a foreign country, let's say the UK, would even think about extraditing Elon Musk to face charges under their rules relating to, let's say, internet platforms, should result in immediate outcry from the U.S. federal government. And it hasn't, because Musk is now a hated figure.
Yeah, and it's amazing again how much that's changed. There was like I didn't realize
Joey, he was the darling. He used to be the electric car guy 10
Yep.
years ago. We're going to get rid of fossil fuels. They loved him, and plus, to have a Tesla was to be a good liberal in a place like Silicon Valley or Martha's Vineyard 10 years ago, for sure.
And so, what do you make of this new? I've been tentatively calling it a populist unity party, especially with RFK Jr. backing Trump in a full-throated way. But I mean, these people have existed for a while. Rogan's not a classic conservative. The Weinstein brothers aren't conservatives, and certainly RFK isn't. Do you think this holds together and is actually sort of does it give any hope? I'll put it that way.
Well, I mean, it does show you the way the Uniparty wants a program, because if you dissent at all, you are labeled far right. And that means even if you're Tim Pool or Joe Rogan and you voted for Bernie Sanders, RFK Jr. is now on the far right. Elon Musk is now on the far right. Anyone who talks about public health now. So that's really an interesting turn of events, where you just attempt, in the same way that Joseph Goebbels tried to do this, you repeat a slur over and over and over again, and then it starts to stick, right? RFK Jr. is now far right. Is there a populist revolt or revolution brewing? I mean, we thought there was in 2016, for sure, and then it got neutered. Trump got into office, and his own ego got in the way, along with a lot of other things. And there's a lot of inertia. And then sometimes I look at someone like RFK's running mate, Nicole Shanahan, and she's very, very wealthy as a result of being married to one of the Google guys. And I'm like, well, that's not very populist to be super rich from divorce. But look, we have to do something. So, God bless these people who are involved in this. And I think we have to also understand that our problems are a little beyond ideological at this point. They're more serious than that. So we need to coalesce.
Well, and again, folks, we're talking to Jeff Deist. As I said earlier, he was 10 years president of the Mises Institute, for many years chief of staff for Congressman Ron Paul. And, given your background, Jeff, you're more aware than I am. And I think most folks walking around of, say, the Paleo Libertarian Alliance, somebody like a Pat Buchanan working with somebody like a Murray Rothbard. And this recent, development, especially with Tucker Carlson interviewing Daryl Cooper, I watched the whole thing. When he said Churchill was the biggest villain of World War II, I'm like, well, okay, let's see what happens here. And a lot did happen in reaction afterwards. But what I was hearing was essentially like Pat Buchanan's book on that subject. So this fight over not just the history of World War II, but this fight over, say, the official narratives of U.S. history has been going on for a few decades now. It just seems like the folks that might agree more with Pat Buchanan have bigger microphones.
Yes, absolutely. It has been going on for a long time. It's just the digital era, and especially social media, are what have brought it so that, we can all participate in it. And that's, I think, the huge difference here is that social media elevates relatively unknown voices, just somebody who's got a platform who maybe doesn't have a university sinecure or a big media platform sinecure or whatever. So that's one. And number two is that everything travels almost instantaneously, right? When there's a controversial interview on Tucker Carlson that, within an hour, that is percolating around social media in a way that it didn't even in the cable news era. So the rapidity at which information travels, and also the fact that there really is, you may scoff, but there really is kind of a citizen journalist now, or a citizen opinion editor. And if you can get Tucker Carlson to let you on his show, you probably reach 20 million people, something like that, maybe far more with the YouTube.
Yeah, he's the biggest podcast in America now.
Right. So these kind of conversations about, let's say, the wisdom of World War II and the outcome, they've been going on a long time. I think the Pat Buchanans of the world have been vindicated, but now they're spreading. The intellectual gatekeepers are no longer allowed to just keep those conversations off to the side.
Well, and I revisited it last night. It's from 15 years ago. It was an Uncommon Knowledge Peter Robinson episode with Victor Davis Hanson and Christopher Hitchens. talking about Buchanan's book. And they're brilliant guys, but I'm sitting here going, why is Pat Buchanan not sitting at this round table on this soundstage at the same time? Like, that would have done, I think, everybody a much better service than just having Hitchens and Davis Hanson throw polemics at him.
Yes, and he could absolutely hold his own with both of them for sure. That sounds like an interesting show I'd like to see. Now, was Hitchens better towards Buchanan's view than Victor Davis Hanson was?
No, he saw World War II, sort of the underlying basis, as the biggest part of consensus in the West, like it did. He really does say it's the founding myth. He does somewhat give into, he was always fighting the cult of Churchill, Hitchens was at that time, especially declaring everything in American foreign policy a Munich moment. But they're both pretty savage on, they don't buy the idea that you could have kept Hitler caged in. They thought Hitler from the get-go was about world conquest, or in particular European conquest.
Well, if that's beyond the pale, then perhaps they should just look across the courtyard there at their own Stanford colleague, Neil Ferguson, who is part of the Hoover Institution there, where Victor Davis Hanson worked. I mean, he wrote a whole book that's basically a what if. What if the British had not gotten involved in World War II and Hitler had been isolated to, let's say, Poland, the Alsace-Lorraine part of France, parts of Belgium, and then maybe going into the Soviet Union, maybe not. I mean, that's a counterfactual, but raising a counterfactual doesn't make you some sort of sympathizer.
Right.
And any America that is so brittle that it feels the need, 80 odd years later, to in almost an imbecilic manner attack someone who does bring up some of this what ifs, speaks very poorly about our self-confidence as a country in our own mythology. And there's nothing wrong with having a national mythology, right? The idea Churchill's a flawed man. So should the let me say the English. I don't like British. Let's say the English. If the English want to go out and celebrate Churchill at the pub, of course they should. God bless him. I mean, he was a great man versus good man, right? A great man in many, many ways. And so I think the English people deserve that mythology. We deserve our own mythology of the GI, of Eisenhower, of MacArthur, of FDR, and there's nothing wrong with those mythologies. But we also have to be adults, and we have to be able to look at history, in a way that reveals its warts.
Yeah, and I love the counterfactuals. And so when I heard Daryl Cooper say that on Tucker's podcast, I knew it was coming. But I hope, for instance, Victor Davis Hanson has a response to Daryl Cooper out today, and Cooper himself said, "I respect the man. Hopefully we'll be able to hash it out and talk about it one day." So I think that's where I would like the world to go. It seems across the board, whether it's historians or academics, or it's people in media or people in politics, the establishment is still kind of holding on to this. We can suppress this new era of open communication and information. Part of me is like, just get over it, guys, and engage. And I think we'll all be better off if we just kind of accept this is the new reality. You don't have a monopoly anymore.
Yeah, I wish they would. And again, the people who are fearful of open engagement are not confident people, right? They are people who are frightened that their grasp on, on knowledge or information, or their grasp on power is threatened by all this. And so we should expect them to lash out, right? I mean, people don't give up power voluntarily. There's still a huge generational gap. I mean, baby boomers were a huge generation, and many millions of them are still alive, whose entire approach to information is rooted in the pre-internet age. And they still think that something on CNN is per se legitimate, whereas something that some guy tweets is per se not. And we know that that's simply not true. And we have to get past this.
Well, and I just looked at Twitter and saw you reposted, this is the nonsense that's going on around the election. Huma Abedin saying Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 because of sexism. I've been wanting to ask you and many others I'm going to invite on the show about the stakes of this election. But I was about to ask that question. But when I see that this is the silly crap that is an election, like, does it make a difference this November? Like, are there actual stakes here?
Well, it makes me wonder that since Hillary Clinton lost due to sexism, I wonder how Margaret Thatcher won back in the 1980s with all those coal miners and union people and everything. And I guess the British men were just so cosmopolitan and forward thinking in the 1980s that they elected her versus us benighted Americans. So, I mean, that's obviously just nonsense. She was deeply disliked, a liar, probably a criminal, and had really done nothing in her life except grift off of her husband. So, I mean, that's just an absolutely clownish statement. And the stakes here are really, it's more, I think, a statement about us than about who actually, quote unquote, leads the country. Because what we've seen is that the administrative agencies run the country. And they barely change with the comings and goings of administrations. They barely change with the comings and goings of the makeup of Congress and the Senate. And they barely change with the comings and goings and deaths of Supreme Court justices. In other words, they are the government unto themselves, unelected, unaccountable. They pretty much do what they want. The oversight over those agencies is really almost negligible. So when people say the government in that sort of, sense, I think that's what we mean. We mean the federal administrative agencies by and large, and those won't change much at all, regardless of whether Trump or Vice President Harris wins. But I think it's more a referendum on us. If enough people vote for the vice president, I think that's a statement that the Trump movement is being vanquished almost. And so I'm more interested in what the vote says about us than what it means for so-called governance.
Well, and then the addendum I would add there is a second question. What are then the long-term trends? I know this is a big question. Long-term trends independent of the election. For instance, I see Turkey wanting to join in with BRICS. With this war in Ukraine raging, I think that's driving a further wedge between, say, West and East, if you could put it crudely like that. Israel continued to be bogged down with a lot of folks say, like Lindsey Graham types, making noise about bombing Iran. And then you just see the national debt. We can put a lot of these things on the table. It seems like no matter who's elected, we're in a tough spot. To quote, "Oh, brother, where art thou?" Like, damn, we're in a tough spot.
Yes, we absolutely are. Our military dominance is waning, and also our dollar dominance, which is going to make it a lot harder for Treasury and Fed officials to keep inflation in check. I think over the coming decade, Americans are just going to get used to a much higher level of price inflation, day-to-day inflation than we're used to. And that's going to become a new feature of American life, which is just going to turn up that burner a little more. It's already simmering. So I think that's going to make a lot of people unhappy, but more importantly, it's going to make the middle and lower income people a lot poorer. And when people are poor, the political situation generally doesn't improve, right? It generally devolves into greater degrees of populism or scapegoating, or however you want to view it. So I think it is a tough spot in the short term. And you start to ask yourself, like, who, given the size and scope of the federal government, who would even want to run for president? Let's say there's some uber competent, person out there who's very wealthy, very accomplished. Think of a Michael Bloomberg type, or someone who's not really ideological so much as they're technocratically proficient. Boy, oh boy! I mean, you'd think that it's not something most people would want to do. So I think we're going to see this coarsening of our politics go along with the problems we face.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't go where history often takes these things, but we shall see. We shall see. Well, I mean, because I think in many ways America has defied the odds, and I would say the best thing we could do is lean on things like innovation, and winning in that regard. It tends to bring people together if you actually focus on that. But there are a lot of folks trying to pull us back down into the gutter with redistribution and so many other schemes. You're right. The scapegoating is unreal right now. And it's tough. It's, again, I come back to this Daryl Cooper, Tucker Carlson conversation. Like, if we can't have serious grown-up conversations about big issues, including our history, without everybody crapping their pants and calling each other names, then we are, I think, going to repeat the worst parts of history.
Yeah, well, I mean, these things are cyclical. We've had a long period of relative prosperity and peace, at least in the U.S. Now we've been engaged in lots of wars overseas, but on our own shores, we've enjoyed really since World War II. And as a result of that, maybe Americans don't understand the stakes in the way that people do in Turkey, who've seen hyperinflation. Somebody who lives in Kosovo who saw Bill Clinton's war, someone who's lived in Israel or Palestine, someone who's lived in Iraq or Afghanistan. You got the Russians and the Ukrainians, you've got the Chinese and the Taiwanese. I mean, we've been so insulated and so, this stuff all seems abstract to us, and we can just sort of spout off about foreign policy. Well, that's because it hasn't, happened here, and let's keep it that way.
Yeah, amen to that. Well, I appreciate your time as always, and let's do this again soon. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, good to see you, Joey. Take care.
Again, folks, that is Jeff Deist, former president of the Mises Institute, chief of staff to Ron Paul. And he's often writing articles from Fox News, The Hill, Roll Call, Zero Hedge, even 1819 News. He's penned a few for them. I like Jeff's insights. But it does seem, Eddie, we are in that tough spot.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Where the election almost, when you hear like sexist or racist or you're a commie or it doesn't seem, the propaganda that's everyday spat at all different directions seems to do a disservice, seems so shallow and childish compared to the actual stakes that we're living through, which is mind-boggling.
Agreed. But even Duke said it before. He's tired of the name calling. He wants to hear some policies from these people. And so that tells me every American is tired of that and would like to hear some substance.
Yeah, no one name calling. I mean, who would name call?
You are a rude, terrible person.
And that was just being nice. It was one of the nicer things he said.
Now, remember this with Caitlin Collins on CNN?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I talk?
Yeah, what's
You
the
mind?
answer?
Do you mind?
I would like for you to answer the question.
Okay, it's very simple to answer.
That's why I asked it.
Oh, wow.
It's very simple to, you're
Double
a
down.
nasty person, I'll tell you.
I thought they were about to get a divorce. Man.
He's nice about it. Yeah, I don't have that ability to, my words go ugly very quickly.
272-9228. Let's go to line one real quick. You're on there. Who's this?
This is Papa B.
Hey, Papa B. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Hey. Very nice interview. I really like that guy's analysis. He states it concisely and makes some really good points. I think that one of the things that he said that kind of deserves a little bit more, maybe, analysis is when he said that, there are people that are and agencies that are having trouble letting go of any power. Which, I'm sure I'm just paraphrasing, but you remember what he said, that basically the deep state is having trouble. They don't want to let go. Right. Okay. But the question is, how far will they go?
Well, that is the
They
question.
will go all the way.
And it's the question on a lot of people's mind. Like, will they let Trump be president?
Yeah.
No.
On a lot of people's minds, you're right.
I'm sure that you're saying, okay, well, they're good people, they're good people, they're good people. But they've been good people all along, and those good people have not done any good. And stopping, if there are bad, if there are good people in those agencies, they've not been done any good, stopping the bad people, quote unquote. So, how far were they willing to go?
Mm-hmm.
Well, all the way, apparently, at least in some corners of those, of what we call the deep state or alphabet soup company in Washington, D.C., and throughout, really, all their little network of organizations that I call the organized criminal syndicate, which is now, I guess, worldwide. We see people in Great Britain being thrown in jail for speaking their mind, and other nasty things that these people are doing that fully are associated with this movement? I don't know what else to call it other than communist. I mean, this new
See,
movement, the outrage.
I think there are people that use communist language, want communist ends, but they're willing to use, say, corporatist means. They're willing to use whatever means necessary. It's not, for instance, the Chinese Communist Party isn't operating how North Korea operates or how Stalin operated. But they're still communist at the end of the day. And also, but then I would say to steel man instead of straw man, not that you were, there are a lot of very smart, competent people in these major institutions who realize that these major institutions are fragile, and they're now scared to death that the wrong person wins and blows up something, and they worry about the consequences. And I think they worry about it earnestly, like they have a point. But I also would look back at them and go, well, why are the institutions so fragile? Why do people not trust you so much? We got to get together on this, but I don't see that anytime soon.
No. Too divided and too taken over, infiltrated by people that just really don't have our interest there, the people's interest in mind. They've got a political agenda. They got a goal. They are incorporated into that genre of thinking, and they've got a hold of the levers of power. The other thing I would say is we simply cannot be so esoteric and oblivious as to think, well, I'm just interested in seeing who's going to win this next election. If we don't, if Kamala Harris wins, we may not have another election. I'm not kidding. That might be it. Because the goal of the communist people, the people that are pushing socialist communism, is the destruction of the Constitution by whatever means necessary. So,
I mean, the New York Times was pretty much throwing that out there just the other day.
Absolutely. Well, why would they?
It wasn't just the other day. They've done it as a pattern. Somebody put together a bunch of front page headlines where it's constant, is the Constitution old? Is it flawed? Is it dangerous to democracy?
Right.
Time to update it.
The 16-year plan, as I have come to know it and have mentioned it a couple of times, that was, first of all, 2 terms of Barack Obama, and then Hillary comes in back cleanup. Obama was supposed to get the gun. He couldn't do it. He tried to several times. He walked in and told Mad Dog Mattis, whatever his name was, to get the guns, and Mad Dog told him, no, we're not doing that. And then he tried to get legislation passed, and over again, nothing happened. But anyway, he was supposed to get the guns, and then Hillary was supposed to get us in war, and basically, theoretically and on paper, lose the war so that the Constitution would be null and void, and we'd have to start over. I mean, all kind of bad things. They're still in the 16-year plan. They're still running the 16-year plan. And so at some level, that's what we're still up against.
Well, and also consider that there are a lot of people with a lot of plans. I'm not doubting you there. Consider also that there are a lot of different competing groups with a lot of plans, and often what comes out of Washington is sort of this weird hodgepodge of consensus making. I'm suggesting the house they've built doesn't make a lot of sense at this point, and doesn't even make sense to them.
No, it doesn't. And I tell you, the paradigm that this whole government, basically, that we have right now, is built on sympathy and a moral superiority. Maybe any government, is built on that somehow in some fashion. That is the social justice, the victorious social justice left has built this country over the last 70 years, on these 2 foundational principles, those 2, and that is being torn down a little bit at a time, but maybe hopefully soon enough. I could go into more of that, but anyway, it's a long, drawn-out conversation. I appreciate y'all letting me call in.
Of course. Appreciate you, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Happy you're paying attention. I think that's what a lot more people need to do. But also, I can feel the person who maybe wants to pay attention, but they've learned that so much of it's BS and it's bad.
Well,
for you.
you lose interest. Like you go there to, politicians go there to make a change, and they quickly realize there's no change I can make.
Now, one of my favorite comments of all time, M. Hogan wrote, Joey don't use FOP because he's a Dapper Dan man.
You use the chemical, do you, Joey?
Yeah. With my hairnets and... Man, I need to rewatch that movie. It's been a little while.
It has been a little while. That's a great movie, though.
Really is. Probably George Clooney at his best.
There was a movie he did with Jennifer Lopez many, many years ago.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, it's a great movie. I can't think of the name of it for now.
Well, there's the one with Catherine Zeta-Jones of Intolerable Cruelty.
That's a decent one.
That's another Coen Brothers.
I just liked it because she was in it, to be honest. But
oh, you like that?
Yeah, she's got a little something going on there. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah?
Yeah. She's got the recipe.
No, I'm just thinking about it. Remember her in that Zorro movie?
Yeah, again, she had something going on there, man.
Yeah.
She's got it dialed in, Joey. Jammed up and jelly tight. Yeah.
This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings. And at Dillon Rings, they're a full-service jewelry shop.
Yeah, they are.
They can help you in every which way, whether you're looking to buy something that's already in stock.
Yeah.
And they have everyday jewelry items. Stuff that's not going to break the bank or break your heart if you lose it on a hike or out at the beach or something, but
Makes
still
sense.
looks great. Or, very high-end items that are for special occasions, of course, or maybe you're looking to impress or get out of the doghouse in some way, gentlemen.
Happens.
Or it could be you're looking for spa treatment. So you've got an older, say, ring that it's kind of worn down, doesn't shimmer like it used to. Well, literally, Josh can make it look brand new.
Yeah, sure enough.
And, of course, they also do repairs, including watch repairs, so you know how good they are. If you ever, seriously, I went down the YouTube rabbit hole of watch repairs the other day. There's something so soothing watching that. Like in full 4K HD.
To begin with.
Well, because he's got the camera right over where his hands are, so it's in full 4K HD. And you can see all these little moving parts. It's
very intricate, man.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Eddie Fat Fingers here would have some issues there.
Like, you put that or a car engine in front of me. I'm like, I don't know about this. Like this, it's just a basket of snakes to me. But Josh Ryder is that good there. He can really do it all. Josh and Leslie can do it all at Dillon Rings. So you can always go to DillonRings.com or go to Dillon Rings on Facebook or Instagram. But we really encourage you to stop by their showroom, 119 Brown Springs Road. Let them get to know you, whether you're looking for that custom design work or all the other services they offer. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated market report. Through 7 months of 2024, over 2,900 homes have sold and closed in the River region. The average price was $260,000, and 60% of these homes sold in 60 days or less. Since mortgage rates have dropped over a point, buyers can save thousands of dollars in payments of what it would have been just 8 weeks ago. The supply of homes has increased, giving buyers more choices than they've had all year. To identify your next home, focus on what's important to you as features that will make the move worthwhile. By getting pre-approved with a local lender, hiring the best home inspector, and most importantly, hiring an experienced buyer agent will make it all go smoothly. For a list of 17 essential buyer agent services and a list of the best lenders and local inspectors, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the River region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Folks, now is the time to track your way to savings with Thompson Tractor. Because right now, we're offering 50% off on heavy-duty or general-duty compact track loader tracks. Talk about affordable. For a flat rate of just $311, you get your top-quality tracks installed in just 1 day or less at any Thompson Tractor location. Not only that, you get a free, comprehensive inspection during installation. All brought to you by the Parts Service Partner, who's earned your trust since 1957. But hey, don't sleep on this offer. It's only good through September 30th. So get on down to the Thompson Tractor store nearest you, or visit thompsontractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather. Hi, everybody. Some significant weather changes on the way, and welcome to. With the risk of more scattered showers and storms continuing tonight, overnight low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, the rain chances are actually a little better on Friday, with a high only in the mid to upper 70s. And over the weekend, fresh air, nice fall air. Sunshine, mid 80s during the daytime with low humidity and pleasantly cool fall-like nights in the low 60s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. Since we began in 1906, at CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play. Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm Joey, that's Eddie.
What's up?
And on the phone line, we have the one, the only Mr. Pink. Hey, Mr. Pink, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. I appreciate that intro. One and only. But how you guys doing?
All right.
We're in good spirits. We're just talking about that off air. We're both in good moods this week.
Okay. Oh, that's good, then. That's real good, man, because I was going to give some hope, man, because I do have hope for the future, man, for America. I do, because Dave Chappelle said it before. The kids can drive just fine. They're going to have to anyway. But I'm going to tell you about a little MAGA that we need. We need to make America gumbo again. When the last time y'all had some gumbo?
Oh, gumbo.
It's been about a year. Been about a year.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
For
Now
like real
think- Now
good.
think about this, guys. When was the last time? I mean, just like going to somebody's house, like 20 years ago, it was gumbo everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I'm pretty sure I go over a friend's house and they don't know how to cook gumbo.
Guaranteed.
You know, like it's things that didn't miss. Like say, Big Mama gave it to the mama.
Mhm.
Mama might not have gave it to the kids now, and maybe that gumbo is just something. Let's say gumbo is Mayberry. It can be anything.
Right.
You know, like well, I say I'm very open-minded, very optimistic about the future for America because we all got the gumbo recipe. We just acting dumb as hell, man. You know, we all got the recipe to make gumbo. We got the recipe to do everything, you know, that we need to do. But like I said, it's better. I guess, like I said, it's better. It's coming from Big Mama, learning how. You know, I learned how to cook gumbo just by being there. You know, so
Right.
many times. Yeah. So I mean, that stuff is embedded in you, you know. But like, we do have the recipe, so maybe we just need to get out there and MAGA and make America gumbo again. Like gumbo brings people together now.
Yes, it does.
Well, and I mean, in my case, with my heritage, it would be MAPA, Make America Pierogies Again.
Pierogies.
Hey, that's fine.
They're
That's fine.
good,
You
actually.
Put a little hot sauce on.
Yeah, you want to get fat? It's like saute
Yeah, I wanna
those in
get
butter
fat.
and
Hello.
garlic and
Look
yeah, a
at me.
little
I
hot
wanna get
sauce
fat
like you
here.
said. Oh man, like potato pasta. All right. But no, I think you're right. There's a lot that we could lean on, literal recipes and also recipes for all sorts of other success in this world.
Yeah, just like I said, that a history, if you don't know it, it repeats itself. And like this, somebody's profiting off of all this.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody's coming out big on it. And I really don't think the election matter. I told y'all who I thought was going to win a while ago. And the only reason I said that was because the former president, Donald Trump, was shot. And like, it's like, what's the next thing? He's like, what's next on TikTok? It's like, no.
Right.
He was shot, and it was just, boom, the next thing.
Yep.
It was a shooting in Georgia, nothing. You know, it's like, we so desensitized, so jaded. It's like, you know, that's why these, like the young black kids, man, they tough, man. Just imagine growing up, getting your door kicked in or a neighbor's door kicked in, you know, and you don't know what to do. You know, somebody getting robbed. Like, some people actually grew up in these bad guys.
Yep.
You know. So that's why I say don't worry about them either, because they were ready.
Yep.
But like I said, we got the recipe for all this good stuff, man. So we just need to just get out there and just teach everybody how to make gumbo, man.
There you go.
Well, I appreciate the call, Mr. Pink.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing, and they're at Cole Plumbing. They can help you with any and all of your plumbing needs. It could be you got a big leak. And
no
like
fun.
the ceiling sagging.
Oh, that is not fun.
You know what I mean? Big
Yep.
water spot or the carpet's soaked through.
I've seen worse, Joey. I've actually came up to a rental one time and water was flowing out of the front door.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what had happened? Hot water tank. Yep.
That's so, or maybe it's your backyard is completely flooded and you're like, what the heck?
Didn't order a pond.
Didn't rain like cats and dogs
Right.
yesterday. Well, whether it's inside or outside, they have the proprietary pipelining technology there at Cole Plumbing to get in there and solve the problem with precision, expertise, with minimal discomfort to you and your home. That means they're not going to have to tear up a big, hole in the yard or drywall hole inside. No, they can get the job done without having to do any of that nonsense. And of course, they can help you with everyday plumbing problems from clogged drain to low water pressure.
That's right.
Maybe tree root invasion. Could be you got a gas line leak or, some people in these parts have basements. And if
That's
you-
right. A lot of basements around
your
here.
sump pump isn't working.
That ain't no good.
It's not you don't want sitting water.
No,
in
you
your
don't want a
basement.
swimming pool in the basement, Joey.
And of course, they can also help you upgrade. So maybe you don't have an emergency problem, but you want to upgrade to a nicer toilet, a taller toilet, say if your knees and hips are starting to give out. So it's not a chore to actually sit down on the
Right.
commode. Or maybe you've got new accessories you want to install in, say, the shower or fixtures in the kitchen or the bathroom. They can help you with all of that there
They sure
at
can.
Cole Plumbing. So check them out today. You can always go to coleplumbing.com or give them a call, 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Now, we didn't even get to the Trump town hall with Hannity.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but
Did you watch it at all last night?
I watched clips.
Okay.
I can't watch my.
No, I know you have an issue.
It's
with
ever
that.
since I adopted him as my godfather. Right.
Everything's gone south since then.
Yeah.
I understand.
Right. I can't. Well, it's kind of like when you see you know how you get embarrassed about your family members the most.
Talking to brother.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean. So do they, for that matter.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about Sean. At
I
this
understand.
point.
I understand. Well, I hope the best for you two. Hope y'all can.
No, I hope the
get
best
some
for
common
him.
ground there.
Now, we played Eric Weinstein earlier in the week. How about a little bit of Brett Weinstein before we hit this final break?
They related?
Yeah, they're brothers. And I would say Brett is more of the nerdy liberal professor type.
Okay.
But I think he's a evolutionary biologist by training.
Good deal. They have a good nerd family.
Right. Now, he was run out of town at some uber progressive like college because he wouldn't say the words. Like
Oh,
literally
good
he was
Lord.
surrounded by students.
I think I
they
do
were
remember
threatening
that.
to
Yes.
hurt him.
Yes.
Like he was in fear of his life. He's like, what the heck happened to my
America.
liberal little paradise?
Land of the free speech.
And so he was recently on Joe Rogan. And here's what he had to say about, elections. I think he puts the Weinstein brothers got it going on, man.
Right.
Some high IQ individuals.
Do. Right. Because for one thing, elections used to be different, as you remember, right? First of all, you used to vote in person, and voting by mail was something you were very reluctant to do because you knew that if your vote got counted, it was going to be very late in the process. It wasn't really going to matter.
It was mostly for soldiers serving overseas.
Right, exactly. It was for people who just simply couldn't vote in person, and it never really mattered except in very rare cases. The disappearance of that and the normalization of voting by mail, the normalization of voting across a period of time so that you're not all voting on the same day, and the absence of exit polls, right? When everybody's voting from home or wherever, you can't detect fraud by virtue of the fact that the count that came in from that precinct didn't match what the exit pollers registered.
Right.
And so, I don't think we are wrong to imagine that we have lost the ability to check whether an election is fair and that that's not an accident. That leaves the possibility open to cheat. And as you point out, they cheat in every other way. Are we supposed to believe that they won't do that because their patriotism is so deep? I don't see any patriotism to them at all.
That's kind of the
Very valid point.
Very succinctly put.
Yeah, very valid
straightforward
point.
case.
They do cheat in every other way. Why are they honest about this?
Right, as I think I wrote up a few months ago, like the elite were polled. Like the elite, political elite, people that are really involved in politics think about it all the time, and then they're very wealthy, they're big players. Like 60% of them are like, yeah, you obviously cheat to win.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It bothers me, but
it doesn't.
It shouldn't.
It doesn't surprise me in the sense that I'm the guy who's like, I think politics is fundamentally force and fraud.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but
I'm not that shocked by this.
When I think that my side won't cheat because we're so good and wholesome, and the other side aren't,
That's how
that
they trick you. What's that old? I remember I was stealing this from Hitchens. We are the pure and chosen few, and all the rest are damned. There's room enough in hell for you. We don't want heaven crammed.
There you go.
I think there are a lot of folks, especially in politics, who feel that way. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Hey guys, are you looking for a professional and reliable tree service company in the Montgomery and surrounding areas? Well, check out the folks at Tree Masters. It's a name you know and trust. From pruning to full tree removal, they'll even help you remove your shrubs. They service all of Central Alabama, including Lake Martin and Lake Jordan. Call them for a free quote today at 334-676-3638. That's 334-676-3638. Tree Masters.
Hey there, folks. This is Hannah Grantham, your listing expert with Forest Meadows Homes and Land, and I want to make your real estate dreams come true.
And I'm Eddie Bader. If you need your home sold fast, you need a Bader, not a waiter.
Oh, Eddie, always with the jokes, but he's right. We're like the dynamic duo of real estate. Got a house to sell? We got the skills.
That's right, Hannah. They don't call us the listing experts for nothing. We know how to get a property sold.
So if you're thinking of selling, call us at 334-368-6358, where your property is our priority.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm riding around with Dad.
Oh, yeah? You going to put him on the radio with us?
Yeah. Hey, hang on. You want to say hello? Hello. Huh? Hello.
Hey,
all right.
Sir.
Yeah, we've been hanging out all day together.
Good
Done
deal.
a few floors. Not been a bad day. I'm trying to figure out the world problems. We solved most of them, so it makes it easier on y'all now to come and buy a new floor because all the world problems are gone after we spend a day together.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and we ought to spend more days together.
Yeah.
But after about 3 o'clock, he's so tired of me, he can't stand it.
That's what I figured. He made it till 3. He's a man. I figured by lunchtime he'd be
Yeah,
dumping
yeah.
you off somewhere.
Normally, he takes off at 4, but I think he's going to knock off about 3:15.
Smart man.
So, hey, guys, if y'all need a floor, call us.
That 285-8117 still a number?
It is. We would love to come out and give you that free measurement. I don't think you'll have me and Dad coming out today because he's fixing to take off. But the other guys will be glad to come out and measure for you.
Well, and y'all be sure when you say, when you call them up at 285-8117, say that you heard Ray and Pops on the phone.
Hey, y'all have a great day.
You too, Ray. See you, brother.
Always love a Father-Son Day.
Heck yeah, man.
Says in Ronnie? Yeah, it's Ronnie. Yeah, good guy.
Yeah. I'm sure he's letting Ray know that back in his day, we used to do things a little different, Ray.
Yeah.
I cannot, honest to God, I used to lay carpet in college. I cannot imagine how laid carpet was back in the 70s because it was tough with me in the 90s. I can't imagine how the heck they did it back in the day.
Right.
I mean, I remember the first time I literally cut my hand. I needed stitches bad. I looked over at my boss. He said, cut you a piece of that pad, get some of that tape, hurry up. It cost me money. Yeah, I realized, you got to be a man to be this job.
I just love it, especially the older guys who just look at the younger generation like, oh, these fruit.
I'm one of them. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'm one of them.
Well, look at me.
Soft.
Right. Look at me. I'm such a disappointment.
No, not at all.
Oh, sure. Hey, let's get out of here. Happy hour with Greg Budell. He's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center. This is